Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Edison Township Municipal Council regular meeting, Wednesday, August 28, 2019. Everybody, please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Quill.
Here.
Councilmember Deal.
Here.
Councilmember Gomez. Councilmember Joshi.
Present.
Councilmember Lombardi.
Here.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilmember Sandelsky.
Here.
Adequate notice.
Adequate notice of this meeting is required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975, has been provided by an annual notice sent to the Home News, the Star-Ledger, and the Sentinel on December 1st, 2018, and posted in Main Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date.
Moving on to the approval of minutes. Is there a motion to approve work session meeting of April 8, work session meeting of July 22nd, regular meeting of April 10th, regular meeting of June 26th, and regular meeting of July 24th?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to the council president's remarks. This Saturday, 31st August, from 11 to 4 at LNC's Park, there is a Military and Veterans Family Day. September 10th, there is a special election. September 11, there is a 9/11 memorial service at Lake Papiani at 6:30 p.m. September 28, Fall Family Spectacular on Emba Avenue from Jackson Avenue to Waltuma starting at 11 a.m. And the next council meeting is combined on Monday, September 9 at 6 p.m. Going on to the 2019 solid waste budget, I would like to open it for the public comment.
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Any council comment? I see none.
Right.
Moving on to the new business on the ordinance O.2048-2019. Clerk, please read by title.
This ordinance authorizing a month-to-month lease for storage of township vehicles and equipment.
Is there a motion to introduce?
Council President,
Yes, Council.
I move this ordinance be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration, and public hearing set down for Monday, September 9, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any council comments? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Quill.
Yes.
Councilmember Deal.
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi.
Yes.
Councilmember Lombardi.
Yes.
Councilmember Sandelsky.
Yes.
Council President Patil.
Yes. Ordinance O.2049-2019. Clerk, please read by title.
This ordinance amending various sections of the Township Code to establish a Department of Water and Sewer for the Township of Edison.
Is there a motion to introduce?
Council President, I move this ordinance to be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration and public hearing set down for Monday, September 9th, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any council comments? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Deal?
Yes for introduction.
Councilmember Joshi?
Yes.
Councilmember Lombardi?
Yes for introduction.
Councilmember Sandelsky?
Yes to introduce.
Council President Patil.
Yes. Ordinance O.2050-2019. Clerk, please read by title.
Ordinance amending Chapter 2 of the Code of the Township of Edison, setting forth procedures regarding the establishment and administration of a set-aside program for qualified minorities, women, and veteran businesses pursuant to local public contract law NJSA 48:11-1 in connection with township purchasing and procurement.
Is there a motion to introduce?
Yes. Council President, I move this ordinance to be passed on first reading, published according to law for further consideration and public hearing set down for Monday, September 9th, 2019.
Second.
Any council comments? Roll call, please.
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Deal?
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi?
Yes.
Councilmember Lombardi?
Yes.
Councilmember Sandelsky?
Yes.
Council President Patil.
Yes. Moving on to the public comment on the resolutions. I would like to open for the public comment. Resolutions only. Yes, Mr. Waldstossel.
Walt Stoschel, 2118 Oak Tree Road, on Resolution R396, the tax appeal for S&A, Block 557H, Lot 30B. Is that the one with the pond? Is that the property with the pond?
That's correct.
Okay. The resolution for the Oak Tree Road Bridge, which is 409, do we have a date when they're going to start work on that bridge? Okay. And on 428, I'm in support of the grant for the 319 program to help fund the Dudash Park parking lot there for the access to the greenway. It's my understanding it'll be a porous pavement, and it'll be good for the environment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President,
Yes, Councilor.
I know Mr. Stoschel contacted us earlier in the week on the resolution for the vacation of Monday Street. Mr. Stoschel, I think you know already, but we'll state that there were a lot of questions about the practical usage of that. Thank you very much for your information about the fact that we may be able to use that for a bike path or a walkway for the students and the residents behind that property to come to Menlo Park School. I want to thank you. As you know, this was tabled, and we will not deal with that tonight. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilman, for the updates. Anyone else?
Motion to close the public portion?
Second.
Roll call, please.
All in favor?
Is any councilman who would like to pull any resolution for separate vote? Is none? Roll call, please.
Any motion to accept
Is there a motion to accept
consent?
consent agenda?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Coyle?
Yes.
Councilmember Deal?
Yes.
Councilmember Joshi?
Yes.
Councilmember Lombardi?
Yes.
Councilmember Sandelsky?
Yes.
Council President Patil?
Yes. Moving on to the oral petitions and remarks.
Start from the list.
Mr. Bruce Diamond.
Mr. Bruce Diamond.
You can't hear out of one ear.
Sorry, AJ, he was sleeping. Just kidding, Mr. Diamond.
Bruce Diamond, 74 Calvert. In today or yesterday's Sentinel, there was an article about Metuchen trying to push again for a new interchange at 27 and 287. I know you all have talked about it. Seems to me if we're the 5th largest town in the state, we must pay a hell of a lot of money in that gas tax. I don't understand why the governor's not helping us out on that. I think it's time to get our representatives and our mayor to contact the governor again and follow that up. I mean, whenever that project is done on the Exxon property, there's going to be a hell of a mess at that intersection. Bridge Street's already an adventure. Coming into town on Talmadge Road, trying to make a left or a right or anything in either direction's already a mess for the traffic coming off of, what's that, New Dover. I think it's important that we get our money's worth out of all those gas tax dollars we're doing.
Council President?
Yes, Councilman.
Mr. Diamond, I don't mean to take up any of your time, but I know that Assemblyman Karabinchak and I are working on this, and I think that he's pushing at the state level to have something like that done. He's actually had some plans drawn up, which I have seen, and I believe I have an extra copy of, so I can meet up with you and go over the plans if you'd like to do that.
As the 5th largest town in the state, would it pay for the mayor to write his own letter to the governor? I mean,
I know that the mayor, and I know he mentioned it in his State of the Township back in February, that he is demanding that something be done as well.
is he demanding of Rob, sorry to talk over you, but is he demanding of Rob and the 3 representatives, or is he going right to the governor and demanding?
He's demanding of everybody, I think, at this point.
Okay.
Rob, Assemblywoman Pinkin, Senator Deignan, and the governor as well.
Okay, because apparently, according to this article, it's hung up in the governor's office. Okay. And I just wanted to make sure, I did not speak when the resolutions were up, but the $165,000 in item 405 for the water review, that is going to be charged to the 12,000 people in South Edison who are going to partake in the new water utility, correct? Correct. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond.
Council President,
Yes, Councilor.
I just want to dovetail Mr. Diamond's point on the exchange on 287. That is really an important piece to our infrastructure and our traffic flow here in Edison. It makes perfect sense, and I appreciate the efforts of Councilman Lombardi and Assemblyman Karabinchak. Councilman Lombardi, I would suggest that we use the comments that were made tonight to say that the residents have spoken. The council certainly were behind it, as I understand it, and there is a sense of urgency. I don't want the governor to kind of put this on the back burner and suddenly the plans go in a place where we can't get to it. I hope you take this opportunity tonight. A resident has spoken. He's spoken more than one time on this. We've spoken more than one time on this. I believe there's a sense of urgency to get this done. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Dale, I agree with you, and I will contact Assemblyman Karabinchak as well again. And I know that we were working together, especially with the Exxon property being under renovation. We were hoping that the Rockefeller Group and the state could work together to kind of, because if they're going to make that exit ramp, you know, that possibly they could work together to maybe save some on costs, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen.
Okay. Well, however we can get it done, Councilman. Thank you for your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, Council comments. Mr. Ward Stoschel.
Walt Stoschel, 2118 Oak Tree Road. I'm going to follow up on Monday.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to point out that the council acted prudently by tabling the Monday Avenue vacation ordinance. As mentioned in the letter from the Open Space Committee, this block is in the open space plan as a path or trail as part of a potential network of paths and bike routes through Edison. There are many paper streets like this in Edison and have been included in the open space plan as paths or trails linking the neighborhoods. The Open Space Committee will be discussing this at our meeting on September 5th, 2019 at 7 p.m. in the Edison room. The proposed ordinance indicates there is an attachment to the ordinance that has information about the vacation of Monday. The committee is requesting this by letter and a copy of the attachment, copies of any correspondence, memos, and reports dealing with the vacation of Monday, and I'll give that to the clerk. If you want to see what we're talking about, go to Lawrence Township and see the Lawrence Hopewell Trail System, which connects parks, schools, and large employers. Go to West Windsor and see the West Windsor Community Path, which does the same. If they can do it there, we can do it here. The Raritan Millstone Heritage Alliance has published a new guide to historic sites in this area. Edison has 3 sites in this: the Edison Tower, St. James Church, and the historic Short Hills Battlefield. I'd like to give a copy of this to the clerk to have it as a resource for historic resources in the community if anybody has any questions. And on Monday, there was a mention of the county's acquisition of a parcel on Woodland Avenue. It was my understanding that the freeholders will vote on September 19th. If you recall, the council passed a resolution supporting this acquisition in 2016, and this is very good news. The property is part of the Short Hills Battlefield, and if this is acquired and the other properties up there are acquired, along with the existing open space properties that we have up there, we may have preserved the second largest Revolutionary War battlefield in New Jersey. Only Monmouth Battlefield in Monmouth County would be larger. So as we approach the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution in 6 years, this is one thing we can promote as a Revolutionary War site in Edison. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President?
Yes, Council.
I just want to echo what Mr. Social just said, the importance of the trails that we have. Everyone who has been on the greenways and the walkways, it's nothing but a success story. Everybody's excited about it. People love it. You can see how many people are walking on the greenways, trails that have been put in place with the county and Edison. It's really important as our township gets bigger. It's going to get bigger as it gets more congested. It will get more congested, that we preserve some of these things, not only for enjoyment, like the greenways has been very enjoyable, but also for safety. In the case of the Monday Street vacation, if the kids can't walk through that, they're going to walk 3/4 of a mile around that on Grove Avenue. That just doesn't make sense to me when we can preserve 10 or 15 feet of walkway, wide walkway, and do it that way. I think for safety purposes, along with recreational purposes, our best avenue is to go with the recommendations of the Open Space Committee. I've sung the praises of the Open Space Committee for many, many years for good reason. These folks have really dedicated themselves voluntarily to meet every month, go over every parcel of land that we have in this town, and what they bring to us has really been valuable over the many years. What they're bringing to us now is valuable too. And thank you, Mr. Stoschel, for the information. I did not know that if we preserved that, it would be the second largest Revolutionary War battlefield in New Jersey, which is very impressive. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. John Roche.
John Roach, 34 Hamilton Avenue. This morning, I left kind of early, and it was dark, and I noticed that the lights on the firehouse on 27 were on. I understand it's for safety, but it seems like there's a lot of lights on. Is there anything we're doing to be more energy efficient on these public buildings as far as sensors or LED or solar panels?
All the township buildings have energy-efficient lighting. That time of the morning, I can't tell you if they were already up. They could have been out at a job that time of the morning and back. And then there's the outside lighting, and that's always on. That's on for safety and security.
Yeah. Are there sensors on there for?
Inside the rooms, there is sensors when you come in and out of the room.
The exterior.
On the outside, that's all by sunlight.
Sunlight. All right. So, all right. Thank you. I mentioned on Monday, you guys were talking about the Oak Tree Road Bridge. Isn't that county property that's being worked on?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's County Road.
Right. What's the purpose of us dealing with that if it's their?
Council Vice President, we need to coordinate with them to make sure, that it doesn't to interrupt our traffic flow, right? So yes, the county is doing that. That's why we don't have a date yet as to when it's going to start. We could check in with our engineer, Mike.
It's the first time I'm hearing about it. I just didn't know, but that's not something that we're paying for, correct?
No.
Okay. All right.
Yes, and I reached out to the state regarding the potential start and completion date of this project, and as of tonight, I haven't heard back yet.
Okay. Another thing I brought up about garbage in town, Amazon's parking lot is a mess. Is there anything we could do about that? Send them a notice?
Maureen, if you can take a note of that, please.
Council Vice President, isn't that, that's a health issue, so we got to get Jay Elliott out there to look at that.
Yeah, it seems like people are probably having lunch in their cars and just throwing it on the grass. It's going to wind up flying all over the place.
I think if we let them know, I think that they'll jump on that because I don't think that they want their buildings being filthy like that, and it probably blows into the middle of 27 and it's Vineyard Road too.
Yeah, more than likely. All right, thank you.
Thank you. So, Ward Sneer.
Walsh near Edison. The yeah, you could say the boardwalk down a boat basin. Did that take a private contractor to put it in? The gazebos, the boardwalk, and everything else?
Years ago?
Yeah.
When it was put in, yeah, I believe it was done by a private contractor. That was a while ago.
They were supposed to complete it someplace, but they never finished, did they?
They finished what they were supposed to do. I think at one point, maybe there were plans to go forward, but I don't think anybody has ever done that.
And is that part of the Department of Public Works to keep it clean?
Yes.
The weeds? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Who gets the pictures?
Marlena?
Marlene.
I'll take them, I'll bring them.
Thank you, Mr. Warsmith. Jim Seuss? Oh, you want to, okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Just a couple minutes.
Sure.
The person that did that, the contractor, he did a hell of a job. The boardwalk, the one or two gazebos they got there, now you could say it's all gone. It got graffiti on it. They broke some of the stems from it. Nobody, in my opinion, ever took a look at it since it was put up. You can't see the river because it's between two paths of, I call them water weeds, because they're about 6 feet high. Why is this not being done? Taking care of something that's brand new. It's got, I would say, weatherproof boardwalk, which is very expensive. That I know. You can't take a walk down there because it's hazardous. I just like to clarify it if we're going to take care of it. Anybody knows?
We are. I'm already looking into this. I got a couple complaints, so.
Oh, you do?
I did.
Uh-huh. Who takes care of this? Public Works?
They do.
They do? I know they got a lot of work done around the township, but you take a look down there, from what I've seen from the beginning, I'm sorry. This township is a crying shame for the work that's done over there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Jim Seuss?
Hi, my name is Jim Seuss. I work for a statewide organization that's headquartered in South Plainfield. It's come to my attention that a Mr. Sam Kahn, who's on the planning board for Edison Township, has come under some scrutiny, and it's been suggested that he be removed from the planning board because of some comments that he made at a meeting on Sunday night. My first question is, and I came here to speak on his behalf, so is this the right forum for that?
You can say whatever you want.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So I'm executive director of the New Jersey chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations. What I'd like to do is read you our vision and mission because it's pertinent to this. CARE's vision is to be a leading advocate for justice and mutual understanding. Our mission is to enhance the understanding of Islam, encourage dialogue, protect civil liberties, empower American Muslims, and build coalitions that promote justice and mutual understanding. Okay, this is my full-time job. I get paid for this. What I'd like to say is that Sam Kahn works harder at all of these things than I do, okay? And he gets paid not one penny. He is a pillar of the society. He's a pillar of this community. To suggest that he is anything less is frankly shameful. And he was making comments about a crisis that is occurring in Kashmir that some people are familiar with and a lot of people are not familiar with. It is our responsibility to speak out against injustice, and that is what Sam did. There are phony accusations being made against Sam by taking some hot-button word out of context, and that's an injustice. So again, I just want to speak on his behalf and make sure that he's respected to the degree that he should be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Maria Orchid.
Who's on the list, AJ?
Maria.
Hi, thank you, Council. Maria Orchid, 83 Jefferson. My first reminder is September 4th, school starts, so please be a little more safer on the roads. Don't be in such a hurry. I know we have school buses out on the roads again, children going to school, children crossing the streets. Please be a little bit more mindful. My next question is regarding the September 10th election. Will there be any preliminary ballots mailed out to people who have to go to voting locations?
Yes, you'll still get a sample ballot, just like you will with every election,
Okay, just wanted to
the
check.
week before.
The week before the election, they should receive, just to remind them what location they should be going to.
It would be the same.
Same
It's
thing
the
as the
same
voting.
as every other election. The locations did not change.
Just my understanding, there'll be one machine there instead
Correct.
of each machine there?
Yes.
Okay,
One machine per location.
per location. Now, the September 30th Council of the Whole, unfortunately, that's scheduled, it's also the beginning of Rosh Hashanah. Did you see if there was the Council of the Whole, September 30th?
Yeah,
Would that be in conflict because it's a religious holiday?
yes, that was brought to our attention by several people, and we did move that date to October 2nd.
October 2nd. Is there somewhere to see a list of people who were requested to come to testify? I wasn't sure. At any given moment, I wasn't sure.
Requested for in the
to-
past or in total?
Like in the future, how many people would come to,
So you're canceling September 30th,
oh,
right? You're not going to, for the
Yeah.
committee of the whole.
Actually,
And you want to make it October 7th? or
no, second.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said 2nd. Okay, 2nd, okay.
October 2nd?
Okay. I thought you said 7th.
The date?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be Wednesday, October 2nd. Okay, hastily the other night, we put together the 30th, not realizing at the time it was Rosh Hashanah. With all due respect, we understand that, and quickly made plans to reschedule, and right now it looks like it's Wednesday, October 2nd, correct? That's what we have. Okay?
Do we know a list of people who are supposed, or asked to testify instead of,
Go ahead. We have the 4, correct? Go ahead.
is there a list somewhere?
Councilman Dew, you can,
Well, I want to make sure that I have the right names. It's Cesar Suarez,
correct.
okay? We have Jerry Shee,
Yes,
okay? Sherrick Ahmad,
yes.
okay? And the 4th is that it? It's 3, okay. It's 3 that we've asked to come for that particular meeting,
Okay.
okay? And we'll see who shows, because, you know, we've been asking for some time for some people to show, and we've had a hard time getting people here, for whatever reasons. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kirit Patel.
Council President, I just want to make a comment before any other speaker. Please remember that we've had perhaps emotional or passionate meetings many times before. All I ask is for everyone to be respectful when someone talks. Remember that this is a place where public policy decisions are made that impact everyone. So it's not a place to, you know, cause any sort of commotion. Let's be respectful for every single speaker there is for the entire duration of this meeting.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Kirit Tony Patel.
Yes, my name is Kirit Patel, Tony. 1 Marcos Court, Edison. New Jersey. I'm here for Sam Khan. You must have heard everything what's going on in the town. He has put such a bad speech in his community that it affects my Indian community from entire India. This is going on, and he's a member of the planning board here in Edison. My request to the mayor and the council, as soon as possible, not even tomorrow, next day, by Friday, I need him to get out from this place. Whatever you do it in a right way so you can fire him. This is what we want. My entire Indian community is against him. He not belongs to even a town. He's mentioning that he belongs to town, but he's not a belongs to town. That's what in the past even, we came to this council meeting, we mentioned, Keith Hahn mentioned that he's not belongs to this place. We gave him all the proof, but council didn't take any action. Now this time, I'm sick and tired of this thing going on. People from outside disturb our community. We are residents of this town in Edison. Now, if mayor cannot take the decision, it's going to be really bad because it's a mayor appointee. Mayor has to fire him by this Friday. No later than then, he has to write a letter to the government and in the Trenton governor that he cannot able to get any government position in entire New Jersey state. We make sure that this goes to the governor, this particular letter, from the mayor office. I hope you all guys support me, and my entire community is here with me. They are ready to do, because I don't like violence. People are looking for him outside. He might get hurt, might get bigger and worse, because the word he used, jihad in this country, especially this word, is against all community. It's hurting the entire community. And how I talked to the FBI agent, and they are ready to do, as soon as they find the right proof, they will arrest him. Because jihad is not belongs to anywhere in the USA. He can do in his country, but not here. This is my final and last request to all the council members. Support me and get him fired from this town. You know, everybody knows me, how long I've been here in the town. Nearly over 40 years. But I never heard this kind of thing. And I want to, you people, support mayor and get him fired from here. Let him leave the country. It not belongs to here. Because once you mention Zia's name, the FBI, they look for these particular guys. They are not belongs to here. They can go back to their country and do whatever they wanted to do. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sure. Atif Nazir.
Did you call out someone or?
Atif Nazir.
These are all from the list, right, AJ? You have a list?
Yeah.
Okay. A nice list.
It goes by the list. Please have some patience. Unless your name is called, you cannot come to the podium.
Yeah, it's not it. Import his name.
Sir, your address, please.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Atif Nazir, 541 Manchester Court, Piscataway, New Jersey. I'm a former school board member of Piscataway. I served about 6-7 years over there. I represent all the community. That include white, black, brown, Desi, non-Desi, all Jewish, Christian, Hindu, Sikh, everybody. That I was in the school board member, I was supported by this community, and I was elected by this community. I am proud to be served for this community. My speaker before me, he just mentioned the word jihad. I just Googled that one. Jihad is a word, is most of the time is misinterpreted and misunderstood. If anybody can Google that word jihad, they can see what does that mean. This is internal struggle. If you can go that one in any dictionary, it is a struggle, effort, meaning to, this is Arabic word, that exact meaning is often mistranslated like a holy war or all this one, but this is the right meaning of the jihad is struggle in religious sense to be under the, according to the Quran, according to teaching of the Prophet, striving for the benefit of the community, restraint of personal sin. That is the meaning of jihad. Jihad is not, is basically your own struggle to be good person in the community. And another thing I just want to mention about when I was school board member in Piscataway, representing by all community, the word always remember my speaker before me, he mentioned the Sam Khan, he did this and that. When my community asked me, we want Eid holiday, we want Diwali holiday in the Piscataway school system because we are diverse community. When Sam Khan find out about that one, he called me, he said, look, in Edison, there is a Diwali holiday, but not Eid holiday. I'm talking about 6-7 years before. But you have to be a model, you have to be a role model for whole Desi community, all in American community. You have to do Diwali holiday first, then Eid holiday. I say, no man, we are going to do Diwali and Eid together. We celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Hanukkah, we celebrate Rosh Hashanah, we celebrate Diwali, we celebrate Eid. We are here to keep the community united. We don't want any hate speech. We don't want division in our community. We are united. If you look in this community over here, they are my brothers and sisters. They are my elder. They are kids. They are everybody over here. They are belong to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Europe, all over the world. We are American, one community. This is a diverse community. We
Let the speaker speak.
This is my hand. I have 5 fingers. My community, Jewish, Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Sikh, all are together. If we stay together, we are a power for the community to make a change, to make a positive change in the community. We have to stay together to help each other, to support each other, to make this community a better community for whole United States. There was a speech my brother mentioned. I was there. I was there in that program, by the way. I listened that one. I have the video. I can share with everybody.
We have to.
And he mentioned word struggle, jihad. There is a Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet.
Please
Be
let
respectful.
the speaker speak.
Everyone needs to be respectful.
Was totally different.
Hold on.
Please respect. Everyone gets a chance.
The Prophet, he mentioned the quote from Prophet of Peace, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what he say, when you see anything evil in the community, You have to stop with the hands, with the power if you can. But if you cannot, due to some situation, you cannot do that one, you have to speak up to stop that evil in the community. But even if you cannot do by speaking, then you have to feel the bad in your heart. But that's the lowest level of your faith. That was the misinterpretation, and pick and choose the word. It was, he is the Sam Khan who was standing for the community. When I was running 8 years before, he told me, go Patel Bhai in that street. He introduced me the people for all this community. We are a little mini globe. We cannot afford hate. We cannot afford deviantness. We cannot hate and promote any kind of bad,
sir. Your time
evil
is up.
ideas in the community. And we want to stay united. And we hope my all brother and sister from all faiths, they will stay united and stay together.
Thank
and
you,
I
sir.
respect for everybody. Thank you very much for me.
Thank you. Mr. Anthony DeMori.
So just to clarify, there's a list that everyone had signed in on first. So the Council Vice President Patil is going to go through that list first, and then after that, the
You
formal.
allowed him, he was there last one, and you allow him to speak.
His name is here.
His name is on the list.
He was just came in and he was looking for the paper.
There's a list.
He used somebody's name.
Mr. Tony Patel,
That's all right.
we go by the rule here. So I'm not trying to manipulate the list. Yes, Mr. DeMori.
Anthony Diamond, 15 Rodax Circle. First off, I don't know why Piscataway Board of Ed, ex-Board of Ed is coming in here to lecture us about, civility and stuff like that. I think if anything, Mr. Khan should be here and step up and explain his remarks. Seems like everybody else is doing his bidding for him, and that's unfortunate. But that's not why I came here today. I came here today to thank Councilman Sandowski and Joshi, Councilman Deal, for speaking up on Monday regarding the board president, Jerry Shee. I was at the meeting about a month ago or a few weeks ago when the board president again pushes blame on somebody else. And this time he pushed blame on this council. I've been coming here for a very long time, and on numerous occasions I've asked this council to speak out against some of the actions by that board president, who is simply a bully on that board. And I am proud of this council for speaking up and defending yourselves against him. I've been someone who has been pushing the board president to work with the mayor and the mayor's office to have a better communication and a better relationship to deal with this overcrowding issue and many other issues. And the board president happened to bump into the mayor at a parade a few weeks ago, which I was at, and uses that occasion to claim that he is now working with the mayor. I can tell you this, I would love to know what the mayor's opinion on it is, because that is a complete joke. And now that he pushes blame on this council, is irresponsible of him. It's really irresponsible because he sits as the board president and his remarks mean something. And his inability to work with anybody in this town is finally coming to light. And I'm proud that you spoke out, Councilman. I think it's something that I've been pushing for. I believe that he's gone far enough now, and it's about time that he's exposed in terms of his inability to work with anybody, to how he runs that board. And to be quite honest, I would ask everybody to watch the board meeting from Monday night, the way he treats his own board members, how he demeans them, the way he treats those that speak up at the meetings, those who disagree with him. He constantly berates people. And listen, I have thick skin, I have no problem dealing with him, but he keeps others from coming to that meeting. I speak to parents all the time throughout this whole community. And when I asked them to come to board meetings, they refused to because of his attitude. It's really quite remarkable. So I want to thank this council, specifically Councilman Sadowski, for speaking up. And I believe now that going forward that people will see him for who he is. And I just wanted to thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Mr. Hemant Pandya.
Hello. Hi, council people. I'm talking for the first time in front of...
Your name and address.
My name is Hemant Pandya.
Address.
Address is 13 Kearney Avenue, Edison, New Jersey, 08817. I'm here on behalf of entire Indian community about a hatred speech done using a charity organization's label called American Muslim Council by the person called Sam Khan. I would love to all the council people to see that video and decide that whether it's a hate speech or not against India, Indian Prime Minister, and Indians. Now, somebody said, we are not here to listen about what Islam says or what jihadi means. Everybody knows, right? Every single terrorist use these words. So jihad in different contexts for different people is different. In this speech, where the jihad was used, was absolutely to provoke a war against India and Indians within the United States. I don't know how safe we are with living jihadis around us. How safe our children are here, you know, with this jihadi people around us. We would definitely, Indian community will send you the transcript of what he has said. And the language, the way they have used this language. We must take action against such people so that, you know, this kind of community, you know, differences in community cannot be created by any kind of person. Secondly, Kashmir is, whole of Kashmir, including Pak-occupied Kashmir, is the integral part of India. No. Yes, 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 yes. Yes.
All right. Excuse me. Hello.
Hold on.
I will be forced to adjourn the meeting.
We need
I will be
Pak-occupied
forced
Kashmir.
to adjourn the meeting. Please,
Entire
please be respectful.
Parliament has said that, Indian constitution says that, and Pakistan constitution does not say that. Kashmir, entire Kashmir, they don't have a right to say anything. Please sit down. Be civilized. Be civilized. Be civilized.
Please.
Be civilized. Relax. You'll get a chance. Relax. Okay.
You will get 6 minutes. Everyone gets 6 minutes,
So
and
my
everyone
3
gets a
minutes
chance to
taken away by
speak.
these people. Okay.
Please have some patience.
Entire council people, silence please. Be civilized. Be civilized. Don't create. Okay.
Council President.
Okay.
Council Vice President. Council Vice President. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Officer, the people who are disturbing, you have to escort them.
Please send them out.
Please let the speaker speak.
Council Vice President, I'll make a recommendation.
I do too.
I'm going to make a quick recommendation here. In terms of what is necessary, all I ask for is people to be respectful of every person. We can't run a meeting of public policy like this. No, I don't want clapping for this. I don't want any clapping at all. I just ask if this meeting is going to continue to get rowdy, Council Vice President, I would ask for it to be shut down. I
am
want
not
to hear,
finished, sir.
I want
I'm
to hear
not finished.
everyone. Everyone is entitled to their time, but we can't run a meeting like this, okay? It's not acceptable. So be respectful of everyone when they speak. That's all I ask, Council Vice President.
Just,
So I repeat-
Mr. Pandya, I know we took you a couple of minutes, but again, this is a request to everyone, all of you who wrote your name, and after that, all of you will get a chance to speak up. Please do not disturb the speaker. If you repeat this, I will be forced to adjourn the meeting, unfortunately, and your voice will not be heard. So please be respectful.
So
Yes.
in
Okay.
adjourning, can we ask police officers?
Yeah, we have the police officer.
Can put them out?
Yes, we have the police officers, but we cannot afford to have the clash in this room.
Okay.
Council Vice President, he cannot, sir.
They can make it.
Council Vice
Sir,
President.
when you get a chance, you can speak, but let Mr. Pandya to continue.
Okay. So further to my, I would request again council people to see that video. American flag was, actually I personally feel was disrespected, because there were American Muslim Council banner was there. There is some stupid another flag, I don't know what kind of flag was there, and below everything there was an American flag. That means it's a shame, and they do not believe in the Constitution of United States of America. These people who has done this American Muslim Council and the speakers were there, they don't believe in the Constitution of America. They violate everything because on the same platform, they are saying that, let's create a jihad against so-and-so people. We are superior in the economy than Indians. We are superior in the education than they are creating a rift, a proper rift between communities who are living here in the United States. I want to leave this council with a simple question. That how safe we are. How safe we are with...
Sir, officer.
Yeah, okay.
Hello, 1 minute.
I
Officer.
want to see my butt only.
Please. Officer.
See my butt, that's for you only.
Officer.
Okay.
You need to be attentive. If this gentleman repeats the same thing again, you'll have to escort him. Yes.
Okay. My question to Edison Township, the state of New Jersey, and the entire United States, that are we safe? Are we safe with such kind of jihadis living around us? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Council, can I just jump in here real quick?
Sure.
If anybody interferes with the meeting, you're going to be removed. Any more outbursts like that, you're going to be asked to leave once. If you obstruct with the meeting, then you'll be removed. No more of that. Okay?
Mr. Colonel Virendra Tavatia.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak. Colonel Tavatia. I live at 366 Wood Avenue, North Brunswick, New Jersey. Many people have spoken before me and talked, trying to defend what was something which was a hate speech. Now, we all came to this country and adopted this country as our nation by choice. We should not be bringing our baggage with us. If we want to bring our baggage, we should go back there. That's one thing. Second thing, when Mr. Sam Khan gave that speech, he clearly mentioned that he's speaking as a Pakistani. Not even once he mentioned that he's American Pakistani. Not even once. Yes. If you want an eminent, highly educated person spoke before me from school, Board of School of Piscataway. He mentioned something. I don't have that kind of education. I just have a master's in defense studies. And I have fought 12 years with jihadis myself. So I don't want to understand the meaning of jihad. I don't have to go into the dictionary, but that's fine. We have all our this thing, but my question is not here. When we came here, we are all Americans. Not even once in his speech, Mr. Sam Khan identified himself as American. Every single time he identified himself as a Pakistani. That's one thing. You can, there's a video here, I can play this video if you want. Second thing, what it has done basically, and where it was done. It was done, this particular speech was given at a sacred place. The place where we go for prayers, the place where, from where we spread the message of peace, harmony. That is where this particular speech was given. Now, I do not know who all were there. There are very eminent people were there. But I'm pretty sure there must be some children or everything. But what it has done basically, it is trying to disturb the peace and harmony of our country. Our children don't care whether you came from India or Pakistan. They are born here. By bringing these issues, we are creating that rift among the community which we should not be creating, which as a responsible citizens, we should be fostering the harmony among the communities. Now here is a person who is on your planning board, who is part of your team, appointed by you. No, mayor. When I say mayor, everybody, okay? Mayor is the head of the town. So you have to look into your own house, whether you want those kind of people to be on your team or not. Because I personally feel a person who is serving a public office has to be more responsible than what the speech said. Now, when it comes to solidarity or with anything, I'm not going to go into that issue because that's not the subject. The US stand on that particular subject has been clarified by President Trump. So in this country, somebody identifying himself as a Pakistani, not American Pakistani, you can hear it several times, play it, and contradicting the official stand the president has taken, that is something that all of us has to think about it and take corrective action. Another thing is respect to American flag. You have pictures. My educated colleague from other party also said that they were present over there. I'm pretty sure they must have seen the American flag, how and where it was placed. So I would keep my narrative short. I have a lot of things to say, but my personal recommendation would be that keeping anybody who delivers this kind of speech. Somebody said that he does a lot of work, more than what he does, and doesn't get paid. That is South Asian Community Outreach. I am pretty sure South Asian Community Outreach, you read the charter, South Asian SAARC Community Outreach constitutes the member from the SAARC countries. The SAARC countries comprises of 8 nations, which are Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, and Maldives, and now Afghanistan has joined. SACO has been in existence for several years. I was very much present in the very first meeting of the SACO when I asked Mr. Sam Khan what is the objective of SACO, and he said South Asian community must outreach to the main American community just to reach out to them. I said, if that be the case, where are the members from the SAARC countries? Where are the members from American community to whom you want to reach out? You see the charter of SACO? You see the membership of the SACO? You see the officials of the SACO, and you would come to know whether it is SACO or something else. And that all the events which are being done by Sam Khan services, the so-called services, has led to believe our politicians who are invited on all those functions that Sam Khan carries 600, 700 votes behind him.
Sir, your time is up. You have 10 seconds to finish.
Okay. And that's why probably he's on the planning board. But my question is, if you people want to keep the Sam Khan on planning board, you are most welcome to do that. I would understand, the entire community will understand that you endorse what he spoke. If you identify with that, you can do that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
For your time. Next speaker is Hafiz Salim.
I'm Dr. Hafiz Salim, resident of 1206 Maple Hill Drive in Woodbridge, New Jersey. I'm here at the risk of being labeled as a friend and a foe on both sides of this perspective. Because it looks like the support for one's perspective is automatically a disregard or hate for the other perspective. I don't think it's supposed to be a zero-sum game. And the reason we are stuck in this quandary for decades, for almost 70 years, is because of the fact that the gain for India automatically means a loss for Pakistan, or a loss for Pakistan is automatically a gain for India. This is the zero-sum game mindset that is bringing us to this point where things which are said in, for example, my esteemed elder, he has said before, if it's taken out of context, when he said, if Sam goes out, he will get hurt. If we take this out of context, this will also mean that this is an incitement of violence. We would not, say that you actually meant that, sir. It's just because, if we take these things out of context, and I believe, the first person when I came in and I shook hands with was Colonel, and Colonel was because of the fact that I have seen your work in the South Asian Community Outreach, and you were there with Sam Khan at that point, and I believe you have seen some of, because you were part of, those meetings, that shows, that you also endorsed what he was doing there. So endorsement and all these things, if we take, out of context, this will become an unending game of labeling people RSS extremists or a jihadist extremist. Even
sir,
when
you can speak to the council, you cannot speak in the room.
No, I can wait.
Sir, speak to the council.
Thank you. So this labeling is the stifling of free speech. This is what tells that I cannot say the things that I should be saying. This is my constitution's right to say whatever I want in front of the people who disagree with me, and that is the beauty. That's why people who come to my house, these are the people who love biryani. The Sanjeev comes to my house, Sanjeev comes to Salim's house, Kamlesh comes to Salim's house for that biryani. So this is the kind of a community that we are developing. This is Edison. This is New Jersey. This is not Kashmir. Kashmir, we will not bring Kashmir over here. Yes, we can have differences of opinion, but we will not make it. Absolutely. So the reason is,
sir,
okay.
Sir,
so
please be brief. Let's not.
No, no. I'm not. I'm not here to defend, sir. No.
Please
Yes,
speak to
I'm not here. I'm not here to defend Sam Khan. I'm just giving a perspective on that. That we are in Edison. We are not making Kashmir out of Edison. That problem should stay there. We are here as one people. I'm not here to defend Sam Khan. Please don't mistake me on that. So, I mean, this is very simple, and I'm telling you, the video you're referring to, because I was able to get a further explanation from Sam Khan directly over a long interview with him. The sinister motive behind that video you can see from the people actually who are promoting that. This is not the people from the other side of the protect. These are not the Indian people who have promoted that video. Can you believe that? These are the people from within his own community who promoted, that video. So I don't think, that the intent, if you are talking about the intent, it's not the intent of Sam Khan that I'm doubting. If he used the word jihad, yes, he has one meaning of that, one in a different context, and other people take a different meaning of that. That's fine. But that is the beauty of this country. That's the beauty of our Constitution. I have the freedom of speech. I should be able to, and if you cannot live with that speech, yes, you have the freedom to go out of that room or out of, whatever you want. So at this point, All my request is, please live with this respect for freedom of speech. That's all I want. Live with the difference of opinion. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Jishan Siddiqui. Jishan Siddiqui. Linda McQuarrie. So your name is Jishan?
He told me to take his
No, you
place.
cannot do that, sir. No, there is no replacement like this. Thank you. Linda McQuarrie?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Linda McQuarrie. I live at 45 Stony Road. This is the first time I have ever come to speak at one of these gatherings. And I come as a resident of Edison, a resident of New Jersey, a resident of the United States of America. I am grateful that I live in a community that is made up of many kinds of peoples. There are people with white skin, people with brown skin, people with black skin, people with yellow skin, people who have red hair, people who have black hair, all kinds of people. People who practice many different types of religions, and people who do not have any religion whatsoever. I am here basically because I've met Sam Khan. I just want to talk about him as a person that I've had the privilege of walking around Papiani Park with, learning a little bit more about his family. I've gone to some of the events that he sponsored by the South Asian community. I have not been at the event which other members of the community have referenced, so I cannot speak to that. What I can speak to is that I have seen this gentleman work on behalf of all of the residents and citizens of Edison, New Jersey. And I'm glad that he is currently serving on the planning committee. Decisions about that would be left to the council and to the mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. McQuarrie? Dr. McQuarrie.
Reverend Dr. Kenneth McQuarrie, 45 Stony Road. That is my brilliant Harvard-educated wife who just spoke. Thank you. For many years, I was the pastor of Community Presbyterian Church down the street across from Edison High. I know some of you very well. I, for many years, have been personally invited by Sam Khan to the various interfaith socials. And I have met people from all over the world. In fact, I've been on Asia TV a few times. And I have had the privilege to pray to many countries. I consider Sam a good friend. I did not see the video. I read a translation. I am not competent to speak on this. But what I am competent to say is this. My background is Italian-American, Jewish, Middle Eastern. When my families came here a century ago, we were told, send them back. I want to say to everyone in this room who's an immigrant, we have a president of the United States who wants every single person of color out of this country. I want us to speak as one voice, whether we are Muslim or Hindu or whatever. I've read a little bit about what goes on between India and Kashmir and Pakistan. They're just names to me. I want you to translate this into something else. If we were talking about Israel and Palestine, the West Bank and Gaza, we would have the same kind of argumentation going on. And I have friends on all sides.
They can't compare Kashmir.
Sir, excuse me.
Speaker has a time to speak.
All right.
You cannot.
Respect me as a faith community leader. No, okay, I'm finishing. I want to say to everyone here, we are Americans first. Do you hear that? Yes. Number two, we have an opportunity next year to change the direction of the United States of America. All right? I want to reiterate one more thing. When my families came to America, Italians and Jews and Poles and Greeks and Russians were told, and Irish, you don't belong. Friends behind me, we have people who say we don't belong. Your children need to see a positive voice. Please leave the politics to the politicians over in that part of the world, and do not threaten one another. Do you understand that a divided country... One more thing. The white nationalists in our midst want to see us divided. Think about it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Tasveer Said.
Good evening. My name is Tasveer Sayed, and I'm a congregant at 10 Olson Avenue in Edison. I come here, I'm not really prepared. I was told about this incident just this morning, but it troubled me quite a bit. You know, I've been in America since I was 20 years old. I came to attend undergrad school. And in college, I was in Stony Brook, SUNY Stony Brook. In college, we had Indian students and we had Pakistani. We were so close friends, we used to cook with each other. Okay, and time went by, we continued to stay friends. But what has happened now is the government has changed in India. They've brought a different kind of philosophy, the philosophy of racial violence. And that has...
Sir, can I interrupt you for a minute?
Yeah.
Can I interrupt you for a minute, sir? Let's not discuss any political situation, whatever the part of the world that's happening. If there is any precise statement you want to make,
yeah, I will.
Educate
no,
the
you had
people.
allowed that before, so I bought
Absolutely.
that thing, you know.
Yes, but I don't
so
want
you should be
make
fair
you,
to let me speak few
I'm
words.
fair to everyone, but we do not expect any controversial
Okay, yeah,
statement.
so, okay,
Yeah,
I will get to the point. Now, we are not fighting just wars, we are fighting ideology. And that's why we see such a radicalization here, people almost ready to throw punches, you know. But I'm here as a citizen and as an American citizen. And I believe in our rights to speak. Okay, we can speak, that's one of the amendments that we can speak. And I was at the program where Sam Khan was talking about. And let me also clarify that some people, you know, people make assumptions. They're saying this event happened inside the mosque. No, sir, it did not happen in the mosque. They have a banquet hall next to it. This event took place in a banquet hall in which they have weddings and other kind of functions. It's not just limited, it's not like a worship going on. Worship is in the other building. So I was there and I listened to him very attentively, and I even have a tape of this. And I have made an English transcript of that. I plead to each and every one of you to read the English transcript. This thing is such petty. You know, the word jihad, if comes around, that they think it's always war. I use the word jihad because I can't wake up in the morning. So I say, I have a jihad against so I can wake up in the morning. That doesn't mean now I'm going to take up arms against the whole country. So please believe me, who can I give this transcript? I spent quite a bit of time, so you can read it, and you will see how petty this argument is all about. What he meant was that, if you cannot stop something that's wrong, there are 3 levels in our religion. The first, you do jihad. Jihad is done by governments. Individual can hardly, like the war type of jihad, not the daily struggle. So if you want to do a jihad, that'll be taken up by a government, by the nation. You can't go and start a war with, say, any country. So he meant was that if you cannot do that, okay, do the next thing. Okay, just speak out against it. And that's where we were. We were speaking. We were planning to have a rally at the United Nations. Okay, that's why we're getting together there. It wasn't like a hate speech. We just wanted to organize ourselves so we can go when Mr. Modi comes here, so we can show him the force that we have. So it was just that thing. And the lowest degree of your faith is that you just, in your heart, you think, oh, it's wrong. But that's the weakest of the faith. Okay, so that's all it was. I'm going to hand out these transcripts. You read for yourself, and you will know how petty it is. I mean, why are we threatening each other that if you come out alone, we will hurt you? I mean, this shouldn't be. You shouldn't be letting him say that. I'm surprised you didn't speak out there. When I speak something, you are trying to stop me. Okay. I mean, we are all Americans here. We have to respect the law and order in this country. Forget what happened in your India, you leave it there. Kashmir, they're fighting for the independence for 70 years. And now they have been occupied. They can't even have food. So we as neighbors and the same religion, we cannot allow that to happen. So we have to say something. And that's our faith. That's what he meant. So it's your faith to don't let the people starve. People haven't eaten for 30 days. Please believe me. They're locked up in a curfew situation. Please read that, okay? And you can Google your definition of jihad also. But to me, it's a struggle. Jihad will always be a struggle. Unless it's a war, then that will be declared by the nation, by the president or the prime minister, whoever. And then I'd like to hand you the transcript, so please.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker, Tejas, or Tej, it's all the name is mixed up. Anyone with Tej or Tejas? No, let's skip it. Mr. Rajabati. He's not here. Mr. Yogesh Pandey.
Yogesh Pandey, 1807 Marywood Drive in Edison, New Jersey. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on one of the burning issues here. And we heard from our fellow speakers who are defending Sam Khan. I won't take much time. I will take probably a few minutes. But I would like to speak to the point in the context of what exactly he said. I think you have the transcript. I have the transcript as well. And as you all know, Prime Minister Modi is actually coming to US in September. I will put that into that in that context where Mr. Sam Khan actually very specifically said that if you want to finish evil, referring to Mr. Modi, you have to kill him. I will read out our duty as a person of Pakistan origin, as a Muslim, and as a Muslim loving overseas, said if you want to finish evil, then you need to do jihad against that. So I mean, my humble request is, you have the transcript. I won't take much time because I believe there are other speakers as well. I mean, you can go through the transcript. You have a copy of the video as well, and you can make a decision on that. And I hope, such things should not be provocative in any sense, because these videos actually now in social media, I mean, I'm sure a lot of kids are actually watching this as well. And some of the words, the way it was put actually in the gathering, even if, these little things could influence even one little kid, I know with a lot of things that are going on in this country as well. And we don't want such thing to happen here. So we have to take everything into context, and and I urge the council members here to make a right decision and see what best you can do, to stop such kind of acts in Edison Township. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Yogesh. Mr. Amit Shahani. Amit Shahani. Mr. Raghuram. Mr. Abbasi.
Thank you, board members. Thank you for your time.
Your address, please.
8 Gullick's Lane, Cranberry, New Jersey. So let me just start by addressing some of the misconceptions. That day, the American
Could you
flag,
speak into the mic?
Yeah, I apologize. The American flag was plastered all over. So the fact that someone wants to give the impression that we were trying to disrespect the American flag, it's outrageous. It was on the top, it was centered, it was everywhere. We are very proud to be American Muslims or American Pakistanis. So obviously that was not the intent. Secondly, there's been a lot of accentuation on the word jihad. I get up every day and I do a jihad. What is that jihad? I get up at 5 in the morning and I pray. And what do I pray? Which is an integral part of my everyday routine. I pray for the children of Abraham. Sir, you are a children of Abraham, you're a child of Abraham, and ladies, so are you. So that is my jihad every day. Jihad has many connotations. You can blow anything out of proportion. You can make some of the things that some of the speakers just mentioned are preposterous. For him to even suggest that Sam is not a close friend of mine. I know him, he's a community activist. But he did not in any way even remotely suggest that finish Modi. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I really don't have the words to describe. I am a firm believer that Pakistanis and Indians, whatever baggage they have from way back, forget that, move on. But obviously there are people, unfortunately over here, who are hawks, who live on this, who really want to promote hatred. I mean, all the speeches that were done by...
So let's not point fingers.
Okay, I mean,
please, yeah.
How do you want me to stand like this?
You can talk to...
Okay, so a lot of people who have come over here representing Sam's point of view, they've all talked about peace. The others who have come over here, they have blatantly talked about aggression. I have a lot of very close Hindu friends, and I value their friendship. For anyone to suggest that Sam alluded to the fact that we want to actually have some sort of animosity towards Indians is again one of those things that would literally lie in the realm of being preposterous. We are a religion of peace. We pray for, I mean, this is you know, one thing, just this would be my last remark. When Muslims pray 5 times a day, an integral part of their prayer is to pray for the children of Abraham. So think about it. How many? So you're talking about praying for about 4, almost everyone, for their well-being. So this is how I want to conclude. We are a people of peace. I mean, you know, if out of a population of 2 billion people, which is 10 Americas and 10 Canada combined, if there are some morons who do stupid things, they're not Muslims, they're evil people. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ahmed Chowdhury. Ahmed Chowdhury. Mr. Sher. Seema Jagtiani. Sarwat Malik. Seema ji, if you want to come and speak.
It's really hard to hear you. Can you speak a little bit to the mic?
Can I stand here because I can't see then over the thing? Sure. Sorry. Good evening. Thank you for allowing us the time to come here and express our differences.
Name and address, please. Name and address.
Oh, sorry.
Please.
Sarwat Malik, East Brunswick, New Jersey. I don't want to give my address. I don't feel safe giving it. I know what I can. I know what I can do. Thank you. Thank you. They can decide that. I can write it on a piece of paper and give it to the council.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can give your address afterwards.
Thank you so much. I have been participating in this kind of discourse because after coming of age, I realized that my parents migrated to this country because there was a lack of certain processes in my country, and my country happens to be India and Pakistan. My mom is Indian, and my father is Pakistani. We're all economic migrants to this country. I used to go to Jersey City because there was no Oak Tree Road. We used to go and we used to shop there, and every time we saw an auntie in a sari, which is a wrap, and she saw us in a shalwar kameez, we would get all really happy to see each other. And this was the 80s. And things happen and you grow up and you realize so many things. We come here because if you look at the emblems on the United States Supreme Court, there's a scale, and it means there's a process of what someone gets accused of, and then there's a process that you go through to prove that. And I don't think that coming up here and having this condescending and threatening tone is going to achieve that. I would never in a million years speak about another country's flag, which is very dear to someone, right? So I was born here. The American flag is dear to me, irrespective of who holds office down in Washington, D.C. So someone coming up here and saying that flag or whatever it is just, it just shows so much character. I wouldn't do that to India's flag, irrespective of my differences at the moment. I don't agree with everything Pakistan does, and I'm not gonna sit here and defend the word jihad or Allahu Akbar. We've been doing that since September 11th, 2011, when a bunch of terrorists hijacked my religion and the vocabulary of our sacred text. I'm not gonna defend anyone doing that. I would never put a Hindu in that position. I wouldn't put a Jewish person in that position. I wouldn't put a Christian person in that position. You don't do stuff like that to people. And I've been apologizing 20 years, trying to explain what Allahu Akbar means. It's an implication that I do the first time I bow down to pray. How dare I have to constantly come up here and say, oh my God, you know what Allahu Akbar means? God is great. I can't say it on the airplane. I can't say it anywhere. It's just, it's not fair. I always introduce myself as, you know what, my mom's Indian and my dad's best, so proudly. And to hear someone constantly murmuring behind me the word Pakistan terrorist in the back, it's just, I don't know, what do I do? How do you deal with that? How does a persecuted minority deal with that? You tap their phone lines? You cut off communication? I learned to speak up about injustice because I'm American. Not because I'm Indian or Pakistani, because we didn't get to do that there. We cut off phone lines, we shut down communication, we black out stuff. We don't do that in America. We come here, we speak, and we speak in a dignified way. I can't even turn around because my parents told me when you're addressing an elder, address them with respect. And vice versa. Because what goes around comes around. No, not next. I'm sorry. Not next. I'm still speaking.
He's talking to me, not to you.
But I can hear you. I'm speaking. And it's constant, right? It's constant. It's in the back. If you're standing there, you want to come here and you want to give this thing about, you know what, we live in a community, we live together, we can't incite violence. But how do you, you're all human. How do you deal with that? I speak to a white person, I make sure I don't make them feel like, you know what, supremacy is on the rise. I make sure I don't make them feel so uncomfortable when speaking to me. I speak to my closest friend, Geeta auntie, she raised me. I make sure I don't make her feel like, oh my God, you know, she's Hindu, she shouldn't feel like I feel I'm on a defense. My mentors have always been, for some reason, Jewish people. Everyone knows about the conflict. They shouldn't feel that I feel that way. Do unto others as you want done unto you. Speak to others how you want to be spoken to. I learned that here. We don't learn that there because that's not what you do there in India or Pakistan. I was kind of bothered by seeing the flag because I was like, you know what, we're here discussing a human rights crisis on the map. I don't care where it's happening. I would be there if it was happening in India, in Pakistan, anywhere. So I really urge you guys to let this go through a process as opposed to someone standing here and speaking in a tone which is threatening, condescending, and demoralizing. I don't choose to be demoralized anymore. It doesn't matter, I've been here 30, 40, 50, this is not a game of numbers.
Ma'am, your time is up. You have
Read
10
our
seconds to
Constitution.
finish.
There's a process. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm off the list. Edison residents, Mr. Bimal Joshi.
My name is Bimal Joshi, 11 Myrtle Street, Edison, New Jersey. The thing what we are talking today, and today we find out, I mean 2 days, 3 days before we find out when we saw the video of Sam Khan. And he was talking about the jihad, and a couple of gentlemen just mentioned that what is the meaning of jihad. It's a struggle of fight against the enemy of Islam. Who is the enemy of Islam? Because Islam, it's a religion, but that religion and particularly these particular things happen in that masjid banquet hall. Here is the masjid and they do the namaz there, so it happened in a religious place, and they were trying to encourage and they are trying to tell the youngster to do the jihad. What is the meaning of jihad? Infidel. Sam Khan was mentioning that Modi is infidel. No, he is our leader. He's a leader of India. And he wants to finish him, so he wants to kill him. He wants to create all the youngster. The way he was talking, he was trying to tell the youngster, don't do the WhatsApp, don't do this, but get ready to fight. That's what he was trying to create. Now let me tell you something. Every terrorist is Muslim. Every Muslim is not a terrorist, but every terrorist in American history is Muslim. Okay? Who hired the Osama bin Laden? Pakistan. Who hired the Osama bin Laden? It was Pakistan. I'm not going against any country. I'm sorry, Council President. I'm sorry, Council President. I'm sorry about that. But when people were talking about jihad and good meaning of jihad, Google it and see that it is fight against the infidel and Hindus. We will never tolerate. The gentleman Sam Khan, he's trying to use our community by the name of Sako and this and that and everything. He wants to make his political career. Okay? And that's why we want him to remove from the planning board. And I'm telling you very openly. And I'm not supposed to talk like this, but I'm telling you that, Council President, you, Sam Joshi, we have a connection with the India. You believe it or not, yes, we are American citizens and our first duty is with this country. But same time, the things like that, what he is doing in this country, you have to remove from the planning board. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. First time speaker from Edison. Yes, sir.
Oh, wait, is he going up or am I going up?
I got it.
You can go up. Let him go up first.
Good evening.
Name and address, please.
My name is Dr. Mahmood Alam. I live at 5 East Drive, Edison, New Jersey, off Inman. I have no hesitation in not disclosing my address. Home flanking left to me is an Indian. Homes in front of me, 2 homes are Indians. And my children play basketball with all of those kids right in our backyard every single day. We are immigrants from so many different countries, ethnicities, religion, and we are in America. We are American citizens. We have to work together to create a community for peace. We cannot afford any kind of hatred in this country. Having said that, we live in a civil society, and we should respect each other's sentiments and the sensitivities while doing our right to free speech. I will use my right to free speech to say something, and then as a physician, I will quote few of the newspapers. Today in Wall Street Journal, there are 2 Indians, Hindu names, who have reported that in Srinagar Orthopedic Hospital, there more people died in the last 3 weeks than the whole year last year. This is the kind of humanity crisis over there, and as a physician, I have the right to speak about it. The renowned journal Lancet, which is well known throughout the world for their scientific standing and research, spoke first, and then many journals spoke. Then you can look for yourself. Google Kashmir and the Washington Post or New York Times, or you name it. So there is a lot of information available there. We don't have to debate about India, Kashmir, or Pakistan right here. But last thing I would like to say to all the council, all the people over here, this name, Modi, was banned to enter India. 2 times he was refused visa in this. And it is a shame that these things are happening and extremists are getting into the power in that part of the world. Thank you.
Anyone from Edison? Anyone from Edison?
He's coming.
Your name and address, please.
Christo, 14 Fox Road. All right. I'm trying to speak, please. Thank you. There was a beer fest some time ago. It was like 6 to 8 hours long. 2 hours into the beer fest, they ran out of beer. Edison can do better than that. I mean, that just pisses me off. I won't curse. I'm sorry. I won't curse. At the White Church, you know Germantown, Woodbridge Avenue? You know the White Church I'm talking about? All right. We need a dedication to George Washington there, because he did drive down there, I mean, on his horse. If you go to New Brunswick right at the start, they have a dedication. They even say that. We should have that here too. Kids, they're desecrating the White Church all the time. They're knocking over the tombstones. And I found out some of George Washington's troops are buried there. You know, you gotta protect that place more. It's a historical place. There's also a witch buried there. I want the witch removed far away from George Washington's troops. They deserve more respect than that. There's no lawyer here today, so I'm... I want to apologize. Are the Indians still here? There's still Indians here? All right.
Americans here. All of them.
Well, that's not the point. I want to apologize to
You
the
can
Indian...
speak to the council, you know, you cannot speak to the audience.
I did it before. I want to apologize to the Indian community, because one time, you know, I was trying to investigate racism. Might have got out of control a little bit. You know, and I want to apologize, and I didn't mean nothing wrong, you know. I didn't mean to hurt anybody, okay? My neighbors to the right of me, they're from Afghanistan. They're Muslim. They never bothered me. I gave them a ride to school and back. Please, I'm speaking. I need to record this later, and I won't be able to hear myself. I give them a ride to school. Put extra time for me, please.
Please go on.
I give them I was always giving them a ride from home to school no matter what. But at the same time, I've been accused of being called a white nationalist. Let's talk about, they want to talk about racism, I want to talk about racism. My biggest accuser, Brett Baker, he called me a white nationalist. How can I be a white nationalist when on my census records, and this is public going back, I put other. I don't even write down white. How can I be a white I put Spartan down, number one. He called Trump a Nazi. How can Trump be a Nazi when he's Israel's greatest supporter? You got to be the biggest idiot to call Trump a Nazi. He accused my people of being part of the Crusades. That's bullshit. Sorry. In the Fourth Crusade, it was his ancestors that came to Constantinople and destroyed it. My people were never part of the Crusades. That was his ancestors. It was his ancestors that owned slaves here in America, and it was his ancestors who created the KKK. When Greeks came out here, there were signs saying, "No rats, no Greeks." White woman seen with a Greek. These are the same people who call me a white nationalist, though. So I'm just, and call Trump a Nazi, which is really, Duclos Avenue, Route 27, there used to be a sign with Trump, all right? The Trump sign got removed. Next to Trump, it was Nancy Pelosi. She looked like a crackhead in the photo. I love driving by and seeing Nancy Pelosi looking like a crackhead. I want them signs back up. Again, back to Brett Baker. His ancestors owned slaves. They raped half the world. How dare he speak about me? I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. So no Republican has to denounce me for any reason. I'm a libertarian.
Sir,
I'm a USA constitutionalist.
To the council.
I'm a sovereign citizen. So for all these people to attack me, to gain points or whatever, or to gain a few extra votes or whatever, it's cowardly and it's pathetic. Was that someone's what? No, okay. I'm forced to pick the lesser of two evils all the time because since I'm not part of the Democrat. New Jersey, there's a problem. I can't register as independent. Now it's unaffiliated. You have to either be Republican or Democrat. In Virginia, it's not that way. In Virginia, you can vote in both Democrat and Republican primaries. We got to fix that. I'd also like to apologize to Miss Roche. I had said some things, and I want to apologize to her. I want to thank all you guys for always putting up with me. You know, but to be honest, I've done a lot less than what happened in here, and sometimes I'll hiccup and get thrown out. But you know, I mean, I got thrown out for having a sign saying "I hate France," which is my USA constitutional right. And I mean, come on. Modi, about the Prime Minister Modi, I like him. He's one of Putin's biggest friends.
Sir, speak to the council.
I'm talking to everybody. He buys a lot of weapons.
cannot
He buys a
talk to
lot of
everybody.
weapons from Russia. You guys love Putin. I know you guys love Putin. I love Putin too. Since this is America, I'm allowed to speak. I'm sick and tired of watching the news all the time. I'm getting extra time added
10
because I was
seconds.
interrupted, right?
15 seconds.
Huh?
I'm giving you 15 seconds.
No, my people are being persecuted. I have more.
Go on. You're losing your time.
All right. Well, I'm sick and tired of having to hear the word jihad when I come up here. All right. I understand, you know, there's good people, there's bad people in every religion, in every culture, whatever. We have some residents here. They're family members. They passed away on September 11. They might be watching the TV, and they're going to turn the TV off right away. Or, I mean, people should really have. This is really nonsense what's going on in here today. I mean, honest to God, half of these people should have been thrown out.
Thank you for your comments.
I would have never been
Thank
allowed.
you. Sir, your time is
I'm
up.
done.
Thank
I'm
you.
done. I'm leaving today.
Mr. Atma Singh.
Thank you. My name is Atma Singh. I'm from Monroe Township, New Jersey. But as a social worker, I work everywhere from Jersey City to Trenton to all the way up to South. We respect all religion, all citizens. But I see the one word. We are talking about the word and we explaining two big things about the countries, about so many things. One time, my son is 6-year-old, and he say, I hate this, something he's playing, and he say, I hate. I say, no, I don't talk to him with him for next 1 week. He say, what happened? I say, if you use next time this word in my home, I hate, I don't like you. That up to now, he never ever used this word. Sam Khan, he's my good friend, he's here, all community is here, we work together, and you people, you saw us together. We have no any problem with anyone, but when people speak, and he is in government position, he have to respect for the words too, where they have to use. And I have that video, Sam Khan is here, and he apologized for that. We all people talking about the jihad. Sam Khan, he sent me the message and he say, I'm correcting my word. It means he used that word incorrectly. I'm right, Sam Khan? He's here. I'm not talking about the religion. We respect. That's a good thing to be a civilized. We have to follow the religion. And that's it. I want to say, whatever is the demand from Indian community and Pakistani American community, anyone, you can decide. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone from Edison? Anyone from Edison?
No, I'm not.
No. From the line. If anyone from Edison would like to speak. Yes, sir.
I think I should have a right to defend myself.
You have to raise the hand if anyone want to speak. Let this gentleman to go.
Hi, Bob Spiegel, Edison Wetlands Association, Tyler Road. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I had surgery recently, so I'm still recovering, and my voice is probably the last thing to come back. I'm the executive director of the Edison Wetlands Association. We're a nonprofit organization that has been serving the Edison community. We were actually incorporated as a nonprofit in 1992. For many of you people on the council, many of the people in the audience, you may not have seen me recently, but our work has improved the lives of Edison residents and the residents of Central Jersey and the planet. And some of the work that we've done and accomplished, if you've gone to the dog park over here off of Whitman Avenue and brought your dogs there or walked by that, that is something the Edison Wetlands did. We gave the Township of Edison $500,000 in grant money and matched the county's money after we worked for almost actually it was about 15 years at the time, because it was a Superfund site, and that made Agent Orange, okay? Now it's a clean dog park because our charity worked with other groups, people. We all came together, and we actually had a council that was behind our organization and a mayor as well. If you've gone down to the boat basin, while it's not perfect, the walkway along the Raritan, that was phase one of what was supposed to be a larger project that we're still working on. Some of the other work that we've done is to save the Dismal Swamp Conservation Area and work with Councilman Deal and others to form the Dismal Swamp Preservation Commission to preserve the largest contiguous wetlands in northern Middlesex. On your way out, if you look at the door on the left, that case is filled with artifacts that we worked to get the Township of Edison put there after Talmadge Road Extension was extended over the Dismal Swamp. And those 8,000 to 10,000 year old artifacts came right from that area. Part of our history, part of our township, okay? The reason that I'm talking about that is because those are things that enhanced environmental quality for everybody. And we did it without asking for help or support. But now our organizations come under attack from members, quite frankly, of the council and others who think that because I was recovering from surgery that they could somehow target our organization and go after our textile recycling program that we had to establish in Woodbridge and Edison to help the township to fulfill its obligation for mandatory textile recycling. And now we're under attack. And I wonder whom in the council or whom in the administration is actually working to target us. And I can only imagine that either those people are doing drugs or alcohol or just not coherent, because our charity does nothing but good, positive work. And I want to ask that the council, administration, and all the department chairs got to undergo alcohol and drug testing, because I cannot imagine why you would target our charity unless you're on drugs or drinking. But we do not do anything but good, positive work. And on, sending Public Works to try to, find our charity and try to set up a sting operation is ridiculous. Joe Coyle, okay? And I can tell you right now that we're gonna file charges against the township for harassment. And we have a contract with the town for our textile bins, and we provide this service at no cost to the town. And our charity does not use any of the revenue for anything but 100% charitable work. So if you go down to where Nevsky Street is and you see Songbird Trail and that trailhead there, that was us. We did that. If you enjoy the Dismal Swamp Conservation Area, or if you go on the Greenway, or if you go down to the Raritan, or if you bring your dog to the dog park, that's our charity's work. You can go to edisonwetlands.org and look at our Facebook page. But those of you who have seen fit to start coming after our organization, stand back.
Thank you, sir.
We don't pick fights, but we don't back down from them either.
Thank you.
Council President?
Yes, Councilor.
I want to say at this point in the meeting that we've heard a lot of different people speak, a lot of good points. Certainly, there's a lot of passion and emotion with the different positions that have been taken here. It's important in our great, diverse community of Edison that moving forward, all our communities are able to live here and work here and go to school here comfortably and safely. That's important. What we've heard are different interpretations of a speech that was given. I wasn't there. I just learned about it recently, about a speech that was given by Sam Khan. And I think the thing that would make most sense right now, because we've heard a lot of different interpretations of what Sam said. I think Sam's sitting right here. I think he indicated to us that he wanted to explain. I think before we hear another speaker interpret what Sam said or explain what Sam said and stand up for him or not stand up for him, I would like to hear, if it's possible, if we could hear Sam Khan speak at this time.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you very much, Councilman. My Pakistani friends, Sam Khan, Sam Abrar Khan, 7 Lambert Avenue, Edison, New Jersey. And thank you, my Indian friend, for maybe 10 years. I don't know, maybe today we're not friends, but tomorrow, hopefully, we will. One thing I just want to clarify. We all hear today just the one word, jihad. And they have so many meanings of jihad. If it really hurts you, I really apologize for that. One thing, let me start with that. Who people know me for last 10 years, did you ever see Sam related with jihad? Sam is always there to bring the community together. Sam is there to bridge the community together. People talking about Sako. Why the Sako we made? Sako we made, please let me speak, please.
Just what I say, hate speech by
Sir, let him speak.
Sako, why Sako we made? We made Sako, South Asian Community Outreach. I'm the founder and the chairman of that organization. Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi living in America, just minding their own business, isolated community, going to their home, watching their TV, eating their food, wearing their clothes. So I decided that there should be an organization where all the communities work together as a community and reach out to the mainstream America. If I made that mistake, I'm sorry for that. That's what the only organization, that's what. No, Atma Singh is my friend, no problem. When we talk about jihad, somebody put in a Google. If you all put in a Google right now, the first thing gonna come in the enemy of Islam, the second words.
I'm going. Let's go. Sorry, Council, sir. We are going. Let's go.
Thank you, sir. You can continue. Mr. Sam Khan, continue.
Okay, sorry about that if it offended anyone. The second word on a Google, the definition of jihad is struggle against sin. Nobody mentioned that. They just mentioned that enemy of Islam. Put a Google on a phone right now and check everything. What the second definition of jihad is struggle against the sin. Atma Singh was sitting here. He was doing a protest in front of a Pakistani embassy. I did not. This is his freedom of speech. He can do anything. And then next month he came to my event. I put him in a podium over there. So that's a Sam Khan. I'm not going to go into detail what jihad is. I'm sorry, I jihad. After 9/11, jihad word is very common in Muslims. After 9/11, it's become like jihadi, jihad, struggle. I'm not the face of jihad. I'm face of peace. I'm face of love. I'm trying to bring the community. In last 10 years, anyone come to me that Sam Khan even raise a voice to anybody. Anybody raised to voice to me, I go back to them. I apologize to them. That's the nature Sam Khan has. So please, I beg you, what is going to take you to stop this hatred right here in this room? We live in America here. We brother and sister. My mother born in Delhi. My father born in Bihar. We came from India to Pakistan to America. We still in migration. Please give us a break. Stop this hatred, Pakistani. I made a mistake that day. I should not use that word. I'm stupid enough, I'm going to accept this. But I never use in my life that word. I still love you, I still everybody. Please work together as a community. We are a community. Why? My daughter goes to school, they live in South Brunswick. She has 9 friends, came to sleep over at night. 7 friends are Hindu. You want me to kick them out from my house? I have no choice. You go back to home tonight, if you're Hindu or Muslim, and see your kids are going to school who have their friends. What are you going to say to them tomorrow? To please don't meet. I saw Sam Khan, and he's a Pakistani. He said the word jihad. Don't meet any Pakistani. Don't do this, man, for the sake of your kids. We're living in America. We are almost 50 years old. What are we doing? We just hating each other. We just, this is one word. You just make us so much story, coming to the council, making a story, texting the entire world, putting on a Facebook, calling FBI. For what? I do have a freedom of speech. And Sako, I'm going to still working with Sako. I'm still going to meet. I'm going to invite every one of my Indian friends. I'm going to invite, and I'm going to apologize, and I'm going to ask them to work together as a community. I'm the only Pakistani go to for the last 7 years India Day parade. What my Pakistani people did, I was wearing a band of India Day parade. They say I'm an Indian agent. They're ignorant. They're stupid. It goes both ways. It goes both sides of the community. Please, why we came here in America? We came here in America in pursuit of happiness, peace. Someone mentioned to me, outside, don't go inside. Somebody said they're going to threat, they're going to hit you. But my America gave me a right to come here. Nobody can touch me because I live in America. I love to come here. I decided to come here. This is my passion to come here. I came in this country with nothing. So please, once again, whatever the word jihad you're taking, that same thing you would put in a Google, but you put a text, what in context, Google is the enemy of Islam. The second word came out, they struggle against the sin. So whatever you want to put it, whatever you want to see, whatever you're going to put in there. Nothing. Sam Khan is nothing. Sam Khan is your friend. Sam Khan wants to bring you to the community. Sam Khan wants to work with the community. I'm not running for any election. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to run for any election in the coming election. So if somebody said that he's running, he's trying to Sako, using Sako, I'm putting my money. Did I ever charge you to come to the Sako as any ticket? I put money from my pocket to bring the communities together. So once again, my message is very simple. I took a lot of time, and the whole thing just because of me, this whole people, the kids in the room, and the mothers, please. Once again, just work together as a community. Forgive people. Even people say forgiveness. If you forgive people, you feel good inside. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Dev Karlekar, he is waiting on the line. Yes.
Hello, everyone. My name is... You allowed me, right?
Yes, Mr. Karlekar, you can go on.
Yes. Thank you, Council. My name is Dev Karlekar. I live in 7 Julie Court, Somerset, New Jersey. Thank you all for coming in. Many of us have come in here to talk about the incident which happened a few days ago. Our 10-year-old daughter, accidentally, my wife watched the video of Sam Khan. She didn't sleep that night. She was appalled with some of the words which he was referring to. So today, I got the script of what Sam Khan said. I'm not going to put an emotional trauma. I'm going to go verbatim by word what Sam Khan's speech entailed. There was a chant, about a few hundred people, the hall which is next to the masjid where this event happened, which is a holy place. And this is what Sam Khan was talking to the audience, anywhere from 5-year-old to about 90-year-old people. This is what he said. We will make sure we get independence. Our duty as a person of Pakistan origin, as a Muslim, and as Muslim living overseas. If you want to finish evil, then you need to do jihad. Holy war against that. If you can't do jihad, then with your hands and through your speech. So what are we doing sitting here? We are just sitting and forwarding messages on WhatsApp. It is our responsibility that we talk to our neighbors, to our mayors in all of our towns, to our councilmen, and whoever else, because Pakistanis are already getting this message. We have to tell them exactly what's happening in Kashmir. You are seeing that the Indian media working and the Arab countries are trying to that Modi has stopped people in Kashmir from drinking water. That Modi, this is his speech, so I'm just quoting him. That Modi has imposed curfew in Kashmir, and that Modi has made Kashmir a jail. The largest jail in the world today is Kashmir. What I want to say is that why don't any one of your hearts beat for Kashmir? I don't understand. Why don't you raise your voice? Just gathering here today does not end your work. Your work begins from here. Your work begins now. These people of Kashmir, based on Article 370, you can make whatever decision, you can help them make whatever decisions they want, whether they want to stay with Pakistan or they want to stay independent. We are all standing with them. All of you living in New Jersey have proved through this, all of you have proved, people who live in New Jersey, their hearts beat, and the hearts of all Muslims beat. Even today, the sentiments of Islam is alive within us. Please, for the sake of God, raise your voices. You all are educated people. You all know social media. We are better than them, indirectly referring to people with Indian origin. We speak better English than them. I'm not sure what does that mean, but we all are more educated than them. We all have to lift the volcano of our faith, and by saying Allahu Akbar. If you say Allahu Akbar in a plane, you'll get deported today. We are talking about freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is okay. But when you talk about jihad, when you're telling people that Modi is coming, you're inciting few hundred people, a 5-year-old, 10-year-old, 15-year-old, that do this, and inciting basically hatred. We all are Americans here. That's all, everyone said that. We all came here by choice. This country is a land of immigrant. Except Native Indians, all of us are basically immigrant in this country. It's our choice. We all say we are Americans first. The flag, you are putting the flag at the bottom. Shame on them who hosted this kind of a thing. This video is circulated. It has gone to all different authorities. It's been going everything. And I appreciate Sam today said that he apologized to the word which he pronounced for more than a dozen, which is nothing but jihad, 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 jihad against Kashmir, jihad against India, jihad against this, that. That was unwarranted. Yes, he said sorry after that 1,000 times, but the damage is done. I request we cannot see such person in the planning board in Edison. So for the sake of people of Edison and the entire Asian American community living here in the state of New Jersey, I would like to request my brother Sam Abrar Khan to voluntarily, delinquish his role from the Edison rather than the Edison, township take that decision. I thank you all for listening, and I appreciate that. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Anyone from Edison? Anyone from Edison? Edison first. Mr. Rich Pressure? You're from Edison?
Yes, I'm
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. With the respect of all of you, my name is Shaheen Jilani. I live in Edison and Edison Manor, and I live among all the Indians. I think in that block I'm the only Muslim, and Indian families are living next door, and almost every night we are together. I'm not here to defend Sam Khan. He defended him very well. First of all, when I take the oath of American as an American citizen, from that day I am American Muslim. And we have to respect if they are Indian or we are Pakistani. We are no more Indian and Pakistani. First, we are American Muslim and American Indians. And we are very much together. Last 2 weeks, I saw the parade, Indian parade and Pakistani parade. The Indian people were throwing us fruit, kulfis, sodas. Then it's a hypocrisy why they were throwing to us. We were working together in IT field, in all the, I'm a banker. I worked on Wall Street and with all my Indian friends, and I respect them a lot. Right now, the way they gave me the look, I just said that we have to civilize, but the way they threatened us, I'm a female, and the way the guy who left this hall, and they gave me the look, I'm very scared. As a female, I'm very scared. I'm just here. I was not here to see this atmosphere. I was here to just that they took jihad word incorrectly. And I think Sam Khan apologized and defended himself very well. And on behalf of all my Muslim community, if they took it wrong, I'm sorry for that. But we are all one family. Day and night, I'm a big social worker. It was not a mosque, it was a banquet hall where we all do different events. And please, please, sometimes when we are emotional, heat of the moment, we say some words which are incorrect, and I agree that we should not use these words and we should be careful, but I request and I beg my dear friends in Indian community that please respect females and you should be civilized. We are in America, not India and Pakistan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Edison resident, Mr. Ridge Brasher. So, Edison resident. No, there are people in line. No, there are people in line, Mr. Ridge Brasher. Mr. Ridge Brasher. They're in line.
All right, I'm going to apologize for getting off topic here, but I'm going to go back to I guess your resolutions in that. When it came to the sewer, there were a couple things. I noticed that you had an appointment for a director position for the sewer water, and you have it, I think, at a 4-year term. And I just question you to maybe look at that. That's true, right?
That's currently in our ordinance. All directors are appointed with the mayor. They run with the term of the mayor. That's not a change in the ordinance.
Okay, it's at a 4-year term, that's why.
That's what it is.
So if they were
for
appointed
director.
this year, they'd be here for 4 years or for the term of the mayor?
They'd be here for the term of the mayor.
Okay, so maybe you could just change that to say term of the mayor. That was number one. Number two was, I looked at some of the sewer drawings that we had for the town. Now, I don't have them all, but what I found was we have certain sewage that's metered that comes into our town and goes out of our town.
Correct.
And we have sewers that aren't metered. So we're getting our neighbor stuff through our town, but we are receiving some compensation, I did find out, which is based upon a guesstimate. And I'm going to say maybe it was about 8 years ago, we put some meters in, and we were able to find a couple $100,000 when we found them, I think, around the Piscataway area. So it might behoove us to put meters in and get an accurate reading of what our neighbors are pumping into our town. And you could probably take that and use that to pay off the bond so the taxpayers don't have to pay for anything. The other one was as far as the Board of Ed, I heard a lot that the Board of Ed doesn't want to talk to the council. We definitely do. I sent Sam a copy of an email that I sent, and I haven't heard a response. So
I responded to you.
You did, yes. But I responded because I sent an email requesting a meeting. Now, maybe maybe the councilman didn't get it, and I can give Maureen the date, and maybe you could check with your IT person to see if their emails are blocked, because I sent it.
Did you send it to the council? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'll send you a copy of that email and that, maybe give your IT people a look at it. But we definitely want to talk, there's a whole host of issues. You've seen the issues. So it's not that we don't want to talk. We definitely want to talk to all of you. And that's it. I'll leave you to the rest of your topic.
Mr.
Thank
Brasher,
you.
before you go, going forward, if you can please send email to Cheryl so she can distribute to the council.
Yes.
You can always copy the council, but as long as she has a copy, she will make sure that the council members have the email.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Council Vice President, just to Councilman Deal, did you get any email, Bob? No, I did not. I didn't get any either. Did you get any email, Mike, about this?
I'm searching my inbox now for an email.
Yeah, I didn't see anything from Mr. Brasher.
I'll tell you what, I sent it to Bob Deal on April 19th, was it? That's why I said maybe it didn't go through. And that's why I said maybe Maureen should have the IT person check to see maybe what. It was 4/19, I believe, where I requested a meeting that we meet on a host of issues.
I'll have to go back several months to find
And well, I mean, I can send it, I'll send it again, but I believe, I'm going to take the benefit of the doubt that you didn't get it, and it's probably like an IT kind of problem. But we definitely want to meet, and the whole host of issues I'll send to you because you should see them anyway. You know what I mean? Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jerry Shine? Mr. Jerry Shine. So Edison residents, first. Yes, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies. I'm just here to remind everybody about the special election.
Your address, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. 18 Winthrop Road, Edison. I'm here tonight just to remind all the great residents of Edison that we have a special election on September 10th. It's important for everybody. It's probably the most historic vote ever in this beautiful town that we live in. Please just use your judgment, common sense, and please vote yes to keep our water in the hands of the great residents of Edison. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Edison resident only. Sir, you're Edison resident?
I am.
Yes, thank you.
Good evening, Council. My name is Lawrence LeBrock, 5 Bright Accord, Edison. I am the president of the Edison Jets Athletic Association, which is the Pop Warner football and cheer. I've been the president for 6 years, vice president for 6 years. I'm also the president of the Edison Little Eagles Youth Wrestling, and I've been that position for 6 years and have been coaching in both areas for 12 years. I was also a member of Edison Boys Baseball, E-Board for a decade, and spent about 14 years coaching over there. I'm also the managing partner of the largest minority law firm on the East Coast, Garces, Grabler, and LeBrock. I bring that to your attention because the mayor has appointed a youth outreach coordinator named Mike Campbell. Mike Campbell started a new organization called the Wolf Pack. This Wolf Pack actively recruited black athletes and called the Edison Jets and myself racist because we did not have any black head coaches. Now, he did this not only to the families and the kids, but he also had the nerve to come into an Edison Jets E-Board meeting and call us racists. There's 11 people on the board that were in attendance and heard this. I have been in meetings with Mayor Risigliano and at least 4 with Mayor Lanke in an attempt to merge the 2 Pop Warner organizations because the numbers are down. And North Edison does not have cheer. We have nationally competitive cheer teams. We have all levels of football. We finally accomplished that, and the Shamrocks were merging with the Edison Jets. When Mike Campbell came to our meeting of the E-Board, we offered him to merge with our organization. I said, I've been the president for 6 years. This is probably my last year. I'm going to step down. Our vice president is over here. It's Dan Boslett. We offered them all e-board positions, and when I say them all, it's Mike Campbell, one of his best friends, Keith Pierce, who was a disgruntled coach from our organization because we didn't give him the 14U football team as a head coach. Instead, we chose Matt Yasko, who's also the head coach of Carteret. So we gave it to the more qualified individual, but we allowed him to be the assistant coach. They merged with a gentleman named Danny DeBows, who lives in South Edison, but was the ex-president of the Shamrocks. And what he did was closed out the Shamrocks and donated all the equipment to the Wolfpack. The problem we have with Mike Campbell, he's appointed by the mayor, and I have emails where he is soliciting funds from organizations for the Wolfpack, who's a brand new organization and competes with the Edison Jets. They actually use Edison High School facilities, which we were not allowed to use. They practice there. We were offered to play our home games there, but we couldn't use the kitchen. Now, our stipend is only $9,700. It costs us $40,000 a year to run that organization. And we're free. So we have to fundraise to do that. We make $2,000 a game off of our kitchen. We can't afford to lose $10,000 by playing our football games over at Edison High and not being able to use the kitchen. However, Mike Campbell, using the mayor's office behind him, was then allowed to use the kitchen, which we had been denied for 12 years since I've been with that organization. They're also asking for the same stipend that we receive. However, their players are more than 50% from out of Edison. Because they're in the AYF and not Pop Warner, which is American Youth Football, they can recruit from anywhere, and they have. So the Edison kids are suffering. How can you be the president of an organization that competes and conflicts with your duties as the outreach coordinator for the mayor? We offered them to become one organization. We offered to change the name. We offered to change the colors because we're trying to unify Edison. No more South Side, North Side. In an attempt to unify, we said, we'll change our colors. There won't be any more red. There won't be any more green in the uniforms. We'll keep the gold because both schools have gold, and we'll either go gold and white, or better yet, let's become the Edison Electric and use the Chargers uniforms. How more appropriate than Edison and the Electric? They looked us in the eyes and said, no. We offered them the 14U football team, the oldest team that we have. The three of them could coach, and I'm allowed to appoint 3 board positions as the president. And I said, I'll give you each a board membership position. They said no. So now they're taking the resources from the Edison Jets organization, which has been around since the 60s, start a new organization in our backyard, and there is nothing in North Edison. I've had meetings with both mayors, and I've suggested Woodrow Wilson as the place that is the central point for the organization. There's a huge field back there, and all we would need is some temporary lighting. And we could practice there, and it would be equally inconvenient for the north side and the south side. But now what has happened is the Shamrock players are coming to Edison. I've addressed this with the mayor. And the worst part is I had to file a cease and desist order against Mike Campbell and the Wolfpack organization. Because by calling the Edison Jets and myself a racist, it creates an incredible problem for me as the managing partner, as I said, of the largest minority law firm on the East Coast, not only New Jersey.
Sir, your time is up. You have 10 seconds to wrap up.
That's all I have to say. And if I could, I have emails to show you the emails that were sent out, or recruiting money in the name of Edison by Michael Campbell. Thank you.
Mr. Steve Nagel.
Council Vice President, just if you can't speak right now, but if you could you send us or at least me, I would like to know two things. The first being, do you have the initial reason as to why you were not allowed to use the fields in the first place that Wolfpack is allowed to use? If you have that, could you send that to me? And could you also send to me, I guess, the proof that shows 50% of Wolfpack is not, or their membership is not from Edison residents, whereas greater than 50%.
We've requested that
Okay.
information. It's going to take a while. When they request the stipend, it'll go through.
So, okay, if you can, whenever you get it, if you could send it to me, I appreciate you coming out, letting us know. I find it concerning that we would be spending recreation dollars if more than 50% of our resident, or if the team is not from Edison. I definitely have a problem with that. I think all Edison residents should. So please send that to me whenever you get a chance.
Thank you. Edison resident, Mr. Steve Nagel.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Steve Nagel, 19 Back Drive. I stand here with you this evening on an auspicious date for me. My family moved into Edison 50 years ago today, which means that I've been here a long time. And I'm pleased to say that he just walked out of the room. One of my longest friends is Chief Latham. He and I attended John Marshall together. I've stayed at Edison because the quality of the community and the quality of the education and the quality of the people that live here. When my son was born, my wife and I had a conversation about where should we send him to school? Should he go to a private school or should he go to a public school? And for one of the few times in my life I actually won, I said you should go to a public school because he's going to have to work in a global economy. And working in a community that is isolated from the rest of the residents of Edison, which represents the world, will not help him as he gets older in life. So I'm very happy to say that my son's friends were Muslim, they were Hindu, they were Pakistani, they were Egyptian, they were Jewish, they were French, they were Greek, they were everything. We didn't care. And here's the thing about Edison. One of the great things that I was taught going through the system is that we shouldn't care what people are, we should care who people are. And that's a testament to the educators that we had in our day. So as I stand here today and I listen to people battle back and forth, the first thing is, and I need to speak personally for a second, when I was going for my citizenship and the community merit badge as a Boy Scout, we were taught the solemnity of the House, in this case a council chamber, and the need to show respect for our elected officials. And I think in some ways we've slipped from that, and I think we need to get back to that and respect each other as peers and residents of one of the greatest communities in not just New Jersey, but in the United States. And I think we're slipping a little from that. And let's respect each other. Councilman Joshi's called that for us several times, and I've heard you, Sam, and I appreciate that, and I hope other people will too. But let's use this night as an opportunity to begin to unite our community together under one common thread, and that is we are residents of Edison, the greatest municipality in the land. And let's work together to build our communities. Let's put aside who we are. Let's put together what we are, and let's start concentrating what we can do to improve the quality of life for the residents and children of everyone in Edison. Mr. Council President, I thank you for my time. I yield it back.
Thank you. Edison resident, the first time speaker, Mr. Vasan Naik.
Thank you very much, President. I really appreciate Sam Khan to apologize what he mentioned. I was okay. Sorry, my name is Vasant Naik, 2041 Oak Tree Road, Edison, New Jersey, 08820. I would like to say thanks to the Mr. Sam Khan. He's a good friend of us. He made a small mistake, which became a big, because sometimes you put a poison in a food for the party, everybody will die. That's what happened when he speaked. But he rolled back that, so I appreciate. I run a food shop which makes the rotis. I have more than 30% customers are Muslim. 20% Christian, and 50% who believes on the Hindu religion. I believe Sam Khan should understand that a person who has Shivaji's picture in the store and Savarkar's picture in the store, still there are 30% Muslims are coming and buying the food. It means we are in a good hand of this management, this council, because we live in a country where we believe all religions. So I hope nobody in future are going to speak jihad or any kind of these words in our dear town where we all live as a brother and sisters. Thank you very much.
Thank you. First time speaker, anyone from Edison? Yes, sir, you can come in.
Okay. Member of the council.
Name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Jahangir Ali. I live at 91 Devon Road, Colonia, New Jersey. I have family in Edison. My purpose of being here is not really to defend Sam. Sam is very capable of defending himself, as everybody sees that. He is, Sam is a community activist, and I really thank him for pulling an event together where people could come together. As a council here, I see that, you're here for the betterment of the town. That's what the job is. I do that for the town too, okay? So my reason of being here is that I heard everything that people were saying, Indian Americans. Somebody also said he's our leader. So I question where their loyalty is, really. So I heard Indians, I heard American Pakistani, American Indians, but they were talking about a word that is used, how the event was conducted, but nobody talked about what the event was for, right? We're all humans here, right? We live here, we're Americans, we're a citizen of a great nation where we believe in human rights, civil rights, freedom of religion. If we see that persecution happening anywhere in the world, it is our right to talk about it. It is our right to educate people about it. I would have expected that this meeting would be where people could come together and say, how can we help people of Kashmir that are persecuted? The reason this is near and dear to me, because there is nobody here affected more than I am. My origin is from Kashmir, from the valley that is occupied. I will say it one more time, military occupied by India. For past 24 days, I have not been able to talk to my parents. I don't know where they are. I don't know. There is complete blockade of communication. They are old. They're on medication, life-saving medication. There is no facilities. I don't know if they're alive. How would you feel? Just let that sink in. You have old parents. For a month, you have no communication with them. You don't know where they are. You don't know how they're doing. You don't know if they have medication. You don't know if they have food. Complete blackout of communication. Is that what we stand for? Is that what they claim the democracy is?
Talk about the POK.
That has been always, I do want to comment on that, that has always been the rhetoric there, that let's not talk about my problems, let's talk about somebody else's problems. Why? I am the affected one, my parents are there, my family is there, I want to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about anything else. As council members here, I would expect that together we could bring the community together, talk about it, educate people about it. That's what Sam tried to do. That's what he tried to do. He tried to bring people together. Nobody listens to us because we're crushed between two countries that are talking about the events, but nobody talks about what Kashmiris are talking about. What about my parents? What about my family? Who's going to talk about that? They live here. They just happen to be there at a wrong time. Did anybody talk about, are they safe? I have not even a single Indian friend calling me saying that, are your parents safe? Because it has been communalized. I want to talk about the event. I mean, we talked about a whole lot about the event that Sam tried to pull together for information, for bringing the people together, making them aware of what is happening. We all believe in human rights. We all believe in civil rights. But what about an event that was pulled together on August 21st at TV Asia? And the name of the event was Sabiman Divas, and if I can understand it correctly, the day to be proud. Because that was the day when they celebrated persecution of Kashmiris. That was the day when they celebrated abrogation of 370. That was the day when they celebrated their leaders on the other side of the world saying, now we can go to Kashmir and bring their girls in. Is that what we stand for? I would love to see, if everybody's talking about the video coverage that Sam's event had, I would love to see an unedited video coverage of that event. Can I get that? TV Asia, can I get that? Can this council see that? Let's talk about that then. As a community, it is our right to educate people, to talk about persecution anywhere in the world. If we can openly come out and talk about Hong Kong, why can't we talk about Kashmir? Why can't we? Right here in Edison, there are right-wing fascist neo-Nazi organizations operating under the facade of community service activities. They have infected this community. When I came here 20 years ago, the reason I chose to live in this area is because it was a melting pot. I left all that back there on the other side of the world. I thought this is where all the communities are coming together. But look what has happened to the community here. It is so polarized. How is that happening? We cannot support those organizations operating in this town. That is the job of this council, to look at that. There are over 100,000 people killed in the last 30 years. Over 10,000 women gang raped by security forces. Over 90,000 people, kids, orphaned in Kashmir. Over 35,000 structures torched to ground. Just in the last 4 weeks. Just in the last 4 weeks.
So your time is up, you can sum up.
Over 4,000 people arrested without any cause. Kids as young as 11 years old dragged out of their beds in the middle of the night on the context of security. People have been locked into their homes for 23 days now with no communication, no food. How are we going to talk about that? What is this council going to do? As a town, I ask you, if this is what the community is made up of, what are you going to do to bring this community together? What are you going to do to raise the voice against human right violation, against civil right violations?
Thank you for your comments. Thank you. Anyone from Edison? Edison resident? None?
Can I talk?
Yes, you go ahead. Yes. Name and address, please.
My
And
name
try
is-
to be brief. I don't mean to cut anybody's time here.
Okay.
We heard a lot. Let's stick to the point.
Yeah, sure. My name is Sadia, and good evening, everybody. I'm from, yeah, sure. Can you hear me now? Okay. I'm from South Jersey. Like some of the people who spoke before, I don't want to give out my address, but I can pass it on to you guys later. So I belong to the law-abiding, tax-paying American Kashmiri community of New Jersey. Like the person before me, how he spoke about, for 4 weeks we have not been able to speak to our families who have been imprisoned in their homes without access to phones, landlines, or internet. Like he said, they have not been able to get medications, provisions for themselves. They have no access to ambulances. The businesses have closed, and the day-to-day, the daily wages are severely impacted. We are all worried about the situation, and there is an indefinite curfew that has been imposed in that area. So we have our loved ones staying there. People like Sam Khan have come forward. They have come forward to help us raise our voice, to highlight the atrocities that are being committed there by Indian forces. And, the thing is, Don Boyer, Adam Schiff, Lindsey Graham, Senator Menendez, Elliot Engel, Tom Suozzi, Pramila Jayapal, all have condemned these atrocities as human rights violations. It's just not like Sam Khan. And We, on our part, we're trying to raise awareness. We are speaking to congressmen, senators, etc., to bring this issue to attention as well. Sam Khan's voice, his words may be poor choice of words, but what he did was to stand in solidarity with the suffering people of American Kashmiri community, like me and Mr. Jahangir, who spoke just a few minutes back, using his right to freedom of speech. So what I would like to say is that, having said all this, as a Muslim, it is my ardent request that people educate themselves about the right meaning of what these words stand for. And I understand that these words can be taken out of context, and it is not wise to say, because it may hurt some of the people, and I understand, and he apologized for that. But the intention was to bring to the forefront what is happening in Kashmir. That is what I wanted to defend, or just say on his behalf. And I would request people to just take time to educate themselves. Again, I'm saying this, what the exact meaning of these words are, rather than just think about what the terrorists used to abuse, how they use these words to abuse their situation. Like say Allahu Akbar, and that just says God is great. It simply means that, that's all. Nothing more than that. So as Americans, America stands for upholding human rights around the world. This was an event that promoted that. Thank you so much for your time. And I have some flyers that I would like to distribute as an awareness, to raise awareness about this issue. If you don't mind, you can just educate yourself about this too. Thank you so much.
First time speaker, anyone from Edison? No? Go ahead, please.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Aram Shakir. I reside at 11 Heatherway, East Brunswick, New Jersey. I'm the chair of the Human Relations Council, so I usually speak on unity and diversity. My friend Sam Khan is a true example of someone who promotes that, peace, harmony among diverse groups that reside here all over in New Jersey. He endorses unity and peace, and that's a true testament to his character. I'm really not sure what the mistake he made here was. People keep talking about the word jihad, and I know that has been a big issue today. That word probably is the most controversial word in America, and if not, probably the word that's taken out of context. So let me explain what that word is and educate you all using a source that most people would find credible. If you go on BBC, the literal meaning of jihad is a struggle or effort. So I hope that's clear for everyone here. It's just basically a struggle or an effort. For example, if I want to stop drinking Coke or stop eating cookies, it's a struggle for me. I will eventually stop it. So it's basically just a struggle. I don't know why it's constantly taken out of context, but if people just educate themselves and have a good dialogue going, people will, get what the real meaning is. Now, as far as Kashmir, let me start with this. Before I'm an American, before I'm Muslim, before I'm even Pakistani, I'm human, just like you, and everybody else here. And so as a human, we all have a moral and human duty to speak for those that are suffering and incarcerated. That's the main goal here. Gross human right violations have occurred, according to a 2018 United Nations report that includes gang rapes by military and mass disappearances of approximately 10,000 people. A lot of numbers were given. I'm in finance, so I believe in numbers. So if numbers matter, right? So these numbers are not made up. You research, you look at studies, and those numbers matter. As many as 100,000 Kashmiris have been killed, and several thousands have been wounded. Entire nation is basically held hostage. Deteriorating healthcare services, people can't get proper medication or proper medical care. New York Times calls the situation a living hell. So of course people are going to speak up and advocate for them, because guess what, if we don't, then who will? Thank you.
Thank you. Edison resident, first time speaker. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, my name is Shazad Shakir. I'm her husband. 11 Heatherway, East Brunswick, New Jersey. I'm actually very, very happy that she brought up the term jihad and what the true meaning is, because you know what? That's one thing that was constantly repeated today. But then there's certain groups that are like, you know what, it just means holy war. It's like they just don't listen. So that's why we have like two sides of the story here when we're talking about Sam's speech. And now the thing that was even more troubling is when Sam actually came up here to explain his own speech, half the room just kind of walked right out, just because they don't want to hear the truth. That's what it really comes down to be. And I'm wondering, why don't they want to hear the truth? And then I hear some people saying, oh, all terrorists are Muslim. Like, we actually heard that today. And I just can't believe that, you know, I've never seen this guy ever harm anyone intentionally. I just feel like they hate him for being what he is, which is very, very disturbing. And you know what? That's the kind of stuff that's ripping apart our country today. So I just hope, you know what, like I've seen some people also say, you know what, he apologized, and that's good with me. I love those people, whoever came out and said that. Thank you so much. And you know what, and as for people getting offended by the speech, all he's talking about is people being oppressed in Kashmir. People don't have water, people don't have food, people are locked in their houses, they don't have communication, they don't even know what's going on outside their house, people are being raped. And if people have problems with people like with Sam speaking out about these atrocities, it just speaks volumes of those type of people who are for oppression, for rape. I can't believe we actually are amongst people like that right now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Name and address, please.
Yes, sir. Hassan F. Chowdhury, Toms River Township, Ocean County, New Jersey, 22052 Court. Good evening, everybody. Obviously, you had a very long night from the looks on your faces. My background, I'm speaking in my personal capacity, but I'm the state's president of the Muslim Lawyers Association. I'm a former prosecutor. I used to be an instructor at the police academy, and now I'm a white-collar crime criminal defense attorney. I'm here to speak very briefly on and in support of Sam Khan. In this particular situation, Sam I've known for approximately the last 3 years, and I've been privileged to be involved in the many activities that he has put together, not only for this township, but the county, but the state at large. Through my personal involvement with him, I've seen him bring together Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Jewish, Christian, and all the communities under the sun. In fact, most recently, I was on one of his host committees during Ramadan in May, June, right here at the the Royal Albert's Palace, where there were a multitude of elected officials, clergy people, and what have you. And he did that part of his own monies, expending that time, energy, effort, and volunteerism, because that's part of his nature. Now, his desire to assimilate and fit in is, I would submit, self-evident just from the fact that he doesn't go by his first Muslim name, Abrar. He calls himself Sam. Okay, and many of the people here, I'm half Indian and half Pakistani, like the female you heard a little while ago, Sarwat. And the thing that strikes me here is that many of the people here who are upset on both sides, it's because of what they perceive as an overseas issue of what's going on with death. I think any of us would be upset by that, whether it's in our communities, in our families. And one of the things I want to bring forth to is that he is not necessarily the most articulate person or most eloquent person with his words. And I think that's what happened here. Which one of us hasn't made a mistake in which we put our foot in our mouth, in our personal life, with a relationship, whether it be out in public, if it's under the guise of excitement, anger, fear, whatever it may be. I would suggest that all of us have done that with this use of the word jihad. I can tell you from the 3 years that I have known him that certainly that wasn't his intent. He has apologized to the Indian Hindu community, and in fact, one of the things is that Pakistan was really a part of India, and our ancestry all comes from the same place. Unless you were really from the Arabian Peninsula, people in that area who are Muslim were likely converts from Hinduism, okay? And when it comes to what he was trying to just bring light of, whether it's Muslim, Hindu, or anybody, I personally seen him speak up for other communities that aren't Muslim. And one of the things is that you heard about the word jihad. I just want to quote a passage from our holy book, the Quran, and it specifically says, it's 5:32, that whoever kills a soul, that whoever kills a soul unless for a soul or for corruption done in the land, it is as if he had slain mankind entirely. And whoever saves one, it is it is as if he had saved mankind entirely. That doesn't specifically say Muslims only. That means everybody. So I think the fact of the matter is that it's a very tense situation overseas, and temperatures are rising on both sides. But what we have to understand is, yes, words do have consequences. He has stood up here in front of everybody and apologized to him directly. You can clearly see some of the people that are deeply offended and hurt. But I could tell you, based on the 3 years personal experience I've had, that's not his intent. I, in fact, yell at him saying, all the time you're always doing these parades and gatherings and interfaiths. I've spoken a couple of them, opioid addiction lectures he's done, mental health, all for the improvement of everybody. It's just not a Muslim thing. It's an everybody thing for Edison Township. So as an outsider from this particular community in Edison Township, I clearly think, number one, asking him to be removed or asking him to resign is probably not the proper venue. And number two, when considering this, I'm sure many of you have worked with him over the years. Clearly you can tell that he's not a wordsmith, but that's not his intent that was meant here. I believe firmly that he meant it in the sense of a struggle and to voice yourself, to speak out for any injustice. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker. Name and address, please.
Okay. Honorable Council, ladies and gentlemen, greetings. My name is Dr. Kaiser Jerana, and my address is 47 Fairway Boulevard, Monroe, New Jersey 08831. I will be very brief because I know you have been sitting here for a long time, and you have families too, and I have a family too. I have 2 boys, and I wake up early in the morning. I live in South, and my work is in North. So I wake up early in the morning every day, and I drive to my place, and I work very hard, and I try to put food on the table for my 2 boys and my wife, and that is my jihad. Therefore, I will not be apologetic to be a jihadi, because that is my jihad. And I'm very proud to be an American citizen. This society, this country has provided to me so many things which I'm very grateful for. And one thing that I will always, I don't care if 6 billion people are on this side and I am on this side, I will always stand up for oppression, against oppression, being an American. And my heart goes out to those Kashmiris who have been locked in their houses. They don't have a health care. They don't have ambulances. They don't have food. They cannot communicate with the world. My heart goes out to them. Thank you very much, and good night.
Thank you. The first-time speaker. First-time speaker. Anyone from audience? None?
I forgot
Yes.
something important.
Yeah. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, no problem. I remember when the one young lady had came up here. When people like Detective Hahn and Officer Tingle and military veterans come up here, they shouldn't have to give their address. You guys already know who they are anyway. And there could be somebody here in the stands that they locked up or has a personal grudge against them, or they can just go on the website, go back, and figure out their addresses. You guys need to change something about that. Lombardi, I like you. You're a cool guy. Joshi, you really you and AJ Patil really deserve an apology from me because I came at you guys hard for the fake amendment. You know when it was. I don't have to say it. Lombardi, after the elections, who's still? If the Democrats win, who's still going to be here? No, this isn't funny. I'm being serious. I'm not. Please don't. I didn't laugh when you guys came up here. Please don't laugh at me. Who's still going to be here if the Democrats win?
Council President.
Yes, Councilman.
Who's on the ballot on the Democratic Party?
Yes, sir.
Is Councilman Coyle, Councilman Patil.
Okay, I like that guy.
That's the only people that are up here that are on the ballot in November.
But see, I'm a little concerned because You're the only one up here that gave me hope that we were going to build a facility, and you said that the case in Ohio is going to be done sometime in November or past that, and you're not going to be around here anymore for that. And then who's going to be here to help me?
I know the
when
town
that-
is considering a lawsuit, and I believe Councilman Joshi is staying with that. And I believe, I saw a news article that there was just a judgment in Oklahoma dealing with a similar issue. And the opioid companies are required to pay somewhere in the $540 million range, something like that, yeah.
J&J.
Against J&J, yeah. So that was, I believe, a good decision, and I believe a lot of towns and in a lot of states are going to be using similar arguments in their own lawsuits.
And it's not just because of the doctors that were prescribing them. A lot of the times, you're supposed to take the medicine when it expires, throw them out, and they were dumping them back on the street, even without. Oh yeah, about the Edison TV. When there was the budget meeting, they completely censored me. Not the next day, not the very next day on Edison TV. I did see myself, but when I went on the website, my whole segment was taken out, and also a candidate Board of Education, Ken Nelson's
Sir, your time is out.
segment was taken out. And I want to know, whose decision is it? Are you guys going, will I be censored again? Or was it a time limit issue?
In 28 years that I've worked here, not once have I cut anything out of council.
No, not the next day that it's on TV. I mean when I
So
go on the internet, because
Let's not have the cross argument. Your time is up,
no,
sir. Thank you.
okay, because
We
I
heard
went
your
after Joy
concern.
Shipman Freeman.
Thank you for your
and-
time.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. Anyone else? From the audience?
Motion to close public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Hey,